Okay, so I think we're live. Let me know you can hear me. Thank you so much to anyone who's here. Today's going to be a fun one. Just let me know you can hear me well. I'll look at the comments and figure it out. So welcome aboard. Today's going to be fun. We're going to basically celebrate the beginning of 2021. I know depending on your time zone, you may actually be close to celebrating it. I don't know. I think some places are like 12 hours ahead of us. So let me know. Let me know what time it is, where you're from, how you're doing, and we'll get to it. So very excited for you to be here. Let's see. Mark, thank you so much. You always let me know that you can hear me properly. That's super useful. Let's go from the end to the beginning. Gail, check. Hi, good morning from Philadelphia. It's exciting to be with you. Thank you so much. Mary Seberg says Happy New Year from Wenatchee, Washington State. Cool. I love places where the city and the state have the same letter. That always sounds cool. Let me fix this so that it doesn't shake so much. Okay, so the agenda for today is a bit messy. So we're just going to go through a bunch of stuff. But the key for me is that I just want to share this time with you. And if you have any questions, anything at all that you want me to talk about, to address, now's the time. This is only going to be like FaceTime video. Okay, it's not going to be desk. There's not much to show here anyway. If I have something to show later on, I will. But yeah, if you have any questions, that's the perfect video to do it, because I can focus just on the monitor. I don't have to do zigzag between painting and talking and so on. So let me know. Let's go back to the beginning. We have Phoenix Official. I'm Yusuf from Sri Lanka. I love your work. Thank you so much, Yusuf. I hope you're still here. You left this comment, this message like before the live even began, and I replied before the live began. Thelma Blake, good morning from the US, Virginia. Happy New Year's Eve. Ace, learn English with movie clips. Hi there. Happy New Year, Liron. Jackie Megan, Happy New Year to all from Georgia. Mark, Ohio. Hey, Liron, good morning from Ohio. Mary, we read your message. Gail, we read your message. Mark. Laura T, hi, sound and picture are good. Thank you so much, Laura. Barb White, Happy New Year. Ready to see this one gone. Okay. So you're gonna go and come back to see it later. Let me know. Marjorie Johnson, hearing you in upstate New York, USA. Of course I am. Highly around, hear you loud and clear. Thank you, Thelma. I can hear you fine. Barb says 9 a.m. in Ohio. Okay, yes. So that's about the time I was planning for the live. I always go for 9 a.m. Eastern time. I have my glass of wine because we're celebrating. I considered leaving the bottle here down on the floor, but then I realized it's way too... I don't know. I don't think I'll pour myself another one. We'll see. I don't want to go overboard. We have, that is Art, not from Alberta, Canada. Says, hi, hey, how are you? Zine Kalsang, wondering if you can talk about lost and found edges and how to make one object flow into another without it looking muddy. Happy New Year. Cool. We can talk about that. We're going to go back to some of these questions later. I'll actually have a note here prepared for myself. So that I can just write down a few of your questions, make sure I don't forget. Where's my pencil? Here it is. Lost, found, plus mud. I'm actually going to do an interesting video that will touch upon some of these topics. It's going to be out on Saturday. It's going to be a fun one. Nancy G, 9 a.m. Akron, Ohio. Thelma Blake, 9 a.m. in Virginia. John, hey John, how are you? York, England. Zine says 9 a.m. Providence. I'll always forget, so let me know. Get some color up. Dave, hi Liron. Crispy, hi from Hamburg, Germany. It's 3 in the afternoon. Yeah, that's 1 hour before us, so now it's 4 in the afternoon here. It's lovely to be together with you all. Hey, Arthur Koopmans, greeting from the Netherlands. Barboy, do you mix your own green? What is your favorite mixture? Ready to see this year gone for sure. Okay, now I read it correctly. Ready to see this year gone. Okay, yeah, I don't know how I didn't read that right. Mixing green. I'm gonna have a note with all of your questions here. One of the things, getting right to it, one of the things I want to do more of in 2021 is spontaneous lives, so that if I'm working on something that I can concentrate while I'm doing it, I want to just come in live and whatever, if anyone wants to join, they can join. even if it's not art making, even if I'm just working on something that is kind of, I can talk while I'm doing it and explain it, that'll be fun. So just letting you know. Dave says, hope everyone has a great new year. Hoping 2021 is better than 2020. Definitely. I think people just, honestly, the atmosphere here, I live in Tel Aviv in Israel, the atmosphere here is so lackluster. It's the most anticlimactic New Year's Eve I think I've ever experienced. You don't feel it in the air. Very different to previous years. And I think the thing is, people are going to celebrate tomorrow, not today. They're going to celebrate the 1st of January 2021. So yeah, I get it. I'm looking forward to put this year behind me as well, even though it was a pretty good year in terms of like work and stuff like that. We're going to talk about some more of that. Itamar Shani says, hi. Hi, Itamar, how are you? Zine Kel saying, Rhode Island. That's right, I should have remembered. Rhode Island. Mary says, Washington State, 6. Oh, yeah, it's early. Yeah, it's super early on the anything that's not Eastern, like west to that, I guess, and the West Coast is probably super early right now. I do hope that some of these spontaneous lives that I mentioned to you are going to take place in better times for most people. Like I know afternoon, it's just that it's very tricky. So if you look at something like 5 p.m. Like US, any US time, like so that's going to be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's going to be like 12 at night. That took me a moment to calculate. So it's a little late for me, but I can get it to work from time to time. And if you're talking about like night in the US, so if we'll go 8, 9, 10 p.m., that's early morning here, like 5, 4. So I don't know if it's going to work well, but I can try for sure at some point in the future. We'll see. Jebby Jeb says, Happy New Year, greetings from Chicago. Amanda Araujo, hi from Barcelona. Gail, check, how can I make reasonable New Year's resolutions for my art journey? What are your resolutions? Definitely, I'm going to talk about resolutions. And I'm going to write the word reasonable. I like that, reasonable. I'm going to write, yeah, okay, got it. John Bennett says, can you touch on brush care? I just got some Escodas and want to keep them in good shape. Thanks, love your stuff, man. To be honest with you, I don't do much brush care. Escoda did send me a soap for brushes. I can show you later on, and some kind of a gel thing that you're supposed to, after a painting session, apply it to the brushes to keep them, I guess, in good shape. I honestly don't do any of that. I'm going to move this a bit. Because to me, like the it's not effective enough. Like I'd rather not spend that time and just buy a new brush, even if it means I'm gonna buy it in 2 years rather than 10. To be honest with you, I know that's not everyone is in that position. Like some people would prefer it. I get it. For some things, I'm like that too. I'd rather, for some amount of money, make sure I save that by doing more work. But for me, for that in particular, it's a bit hard. I'd much rather, again, pay more for another brush than spend a lot of time on maintaining the brushes. So I don't do anything. Now, one thing I will say is just to clean them in the water and don't leave them in the water bucket, because what that does is it'll, you see the bristles, it's going to lean against something and it's going to stay like this. And then when you pick it up, it's going to stay like that. And it can be a bit annoying and sometimes it will hurt the bristles. Wash it, put it on a towel. That's the best tip I can give you from my own experience. Some people can definitely say more. Mary C, Happy New Year for tonight. Thanks for the free lessons. Much love from England. It's fresh here. Coastal. Okay, yeah. And I'm going to talk a bit about some more free lessons. So more fun stuff, obviously, the How to Simplify course. James L. Baker, Happy New Year all from London. Thank you, James. John says, how did your baking turn out? What did you make? Can you send me some by mail? Okay, so yesterday I made buns. I'm gonna send it over to my Mac and I'm gonna show you because I took a few pictures of it. So let me show you. I'm gonna show you. I think that'll be the best way to explain it. Okay, here we go. Bear with me because it's gonna take a moment to, you know, I'm kind of slow when it comes to putting the pictures on the screen, but here we go. I wish there was a more efficient way. I should find a more efficient way. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to add an image of the buns, like the best one I have, I think. I'm going to add a few. Save, browse. We're going to get from my downloads folder. So I made buns. We had burgers, but we didn't have buns. So I decided to make them. I'm going to show you the final product in a moment, but here we go. So this is prior to putting them in the oven, obviously. And you can just see this. I don't care, you can see this full screen, or I'll make it a little smaller here. So that's that. Feel free to rewind and pause it if you want to see it for longer. I'm not going to keep it on for that long. Maybe later. So you just want to make sure we get through the agenda. Let me show you the other bun picture. Maybe should I show you in the oven, or should I just show you the end result? I'm going to show you the end result. So the end result of that is this. I'm going to have to rotate it. Obviously, that always happens. One sec. So we did like sweet potatoes and potatoes in the oven. That was really nice. It was very tasty. And you can see my flip-flop. In a moment you'll be able to see it. Just with my socks on. That's how I always have them, even right now, this moment. Some people find it strange. I don't blame them. But here we go. So we had like all of this nice stuff on the table. And if you want to see my flip-flop, it is right near the bottom. So you can see it here. Here we go. So burgers, fries, like potatoes and sweet potatoes in the oven, some, you know, mustard, ketchup, some pickles, some stuff. So that was really nice. So the buns turned out really nicely. Again, here's a reminder. This is what they looked like before going in the oven. But yeah, I really enjoy cooking, and baking is fun too. It's not my specialty. It's something I'm lacking in. I should practice more, but yeah, so that turned out really nicely. Amy Wagner, hi Liron from South Carolina. I took your watercolor class and still need more. You will get more soon. I'm going to post a new course. Blanca Rodriguez, hi Liron, greetings from Lima, Peru. By the way, Amy, feel free to either send me an email or let me know here what you'd want more, or where you felt like you got stuck, or what more, what are your sticking points at the moment? I'm curious to hear. One more thing, please, if you can, drop a like on the video. If you're watching it on your phone, you may not be able to, so you can close the chat, then you'll be able to like it, and then open the chat back again, because it really helps me get this video in front of more people. So please, if you can, like this video, I would greatly appreciate it. John says, love the video on Ruth versus Hoover. So Hoover, I guess, is the vacuum cleaner. It's, what do you call the brand? I forgot. It's not Hoover, it's something else. But yeah, she hates it. Chaser Kitty says, I feel terrible. I haven't watched you for ages, but what a fantastic result for you. So pleased to see you've hit 100,000 subscribers. You're an awesome channel. Thanks for the freebie instruction. Thank you so much, Chaser Kitty. So yeah, that's part of what we're celebrating today. Almost 100K followers. I think we can actually talk about that a bit. So here's the thing. I'm going to continue reading your comments in just a moment. So this is a goal, you know, every year I set up my goals, I decide on what I want to achieve, and the way I look at it, and I learned it from a good friend, was thinking about the goals that will make me feel excited. That's the key here. You want to think about, like, achieving what, and this is, by the way, it relates to your question about resolutions and reasonable resolutions. A big thing for me is, what goal will make me feel very happy and excited, and if I only achieve that, the entire year was worth it, or the entire month, or the entire week, depending on the time frame through which I look at it. So for me, that's how I think about it. Now, if that can coincide, obviously, with something that's in your control, because you can set a crazy goal that even if you work as hard as you can't reach because it's just impractical. So you have to have the thing that is practical kind of coincide with the thing that will make you very excited. So that's the main thing for me here. I can show you. So this is what is practical, and this is goal setting instructions, and this is what will make me extremely happy. And that is the magical zone. And you also want it to be specific if you can. So specific. That's a very important thing. I find that when I set goals that are very specific, I'm much more likely to achieve them. So just as a side note. Now, the thing with the 100K subscribers is it's a goal I've been setting for like 3 years in a row. 2017, 2018, 2019. I set this goal of wanting to get to 100K YouTube subscribers. And this year, 2020, for the first time ever, I said to myself, well, it's not fully in my control. So instead of setting the goal and then not achieving it again, I'm just not going to set it. And funny enough, it's the end of this year where I'm going to kind of hit close to that goal. It's almost there, like 97.8. That's really close. I think end of January probably will be there. So it's funny to think, like, if you want to set a goal that is reasonable, think about what is practical to you. I think more things are practical than many people imagine. Like, if a goal is to write a book, I think that's practical in a year, for sure. Because many people will say, I've been working on this book for a couple of years. Obviously, it will depend on the length. If you look at something like all of the, what do you call it, the Game of Thrones books that are super long, that may take 5 years. I don't know how much longer. Like, he's been working on the book, on the new book forever, and I haven't even read the previous ones. I just watched the show. But if you're looking at something like a shorter thing, a year is doable. You don't have to stretch things out indefinitely. That's the big thing, because people tend to do that. And one thing I want you to have in mind is, like, if you have a goal that sounds like really big and intimidating, think about it. Like, ask yourself this question. This is something I learned from a guy called Tim Ferriss. He's really good. Is what would it look like if I finish it in like 2 months? Like, think about how you can squeeze it completely. So then you start getting practical. Like, if it's something that you assess to take a year, say how would it look like if I can finish it within 2 months? If it's something that you think will take a decade, think about how can I achieve that in a year? Just asking that question can really help you start thinking about it practically, because then you find a lot of little tricks you can do, things you can remove that are maybe not as important. Maybe something that's responsible to 70% of the work is something that is kind of nice to have but not a must. So if you kind of had to do it, how would you go about doing that? And that's a very, I think, good mindset to have. So let's see what else we have in the chat. Sally Day says, hey you, good to see you and hear from you. Gemily, hello from Cincinnati, Ohio. Amy says, have been following your videos and your success. Congratulations, appreciate your personal attention. You got it. I'm trying to reply to a lot of comments, a lot of messages, a lot of emails. It's super hard, to be honest, but I'm trying and doing my best. It's another thing for 2021 I definitely want to put more emphasis on, is being more there, like with the comments. Like Instagram messages, I barely reply. I'll go in once every while and I will. Now, some messages pop as a notification. If I get a notification on my phone and I read the message and it looks like it's interesting, I have a few moments and I can kind of answer it quickly, I will go into Instagram, answer it real quick and leave. But yeah, that's a big challenge for me. Marjorie Johnson, always interested in mixing greens. Where I am in New York, we have many shades of green, to the point that visitors first time from the Arizona said their eyes hurt for all the green. That's interesting. I felt a bit of that even in Manhattan, in Central Park. That's really nice. I love all of these types of greens. I will talk about it, and I actually will show you an example of my favorite greens to mix. There's a painting I want to share with you. Here's a quick preview. This one. I want to share with you. I will show you in more detail later on. I just posted it on Instagram, so you will see it in more detail in just a few moments. John Lee says, Happy New Year. Mary C, 2 p.m. here, sunny and clear. Sea looks amazing through this year. I must try a seascape. Definitely. Go for it. Do one. Sally Day says, L'chaim, Happy New Year, which is L'chaim basically means to life. And it's like the cheers in Hebrew. Rayman, Shalom. Good New Year from Scotland when it comes. Thank you so much, Ray. Marjorie Johnson, I spent a week's wages 55 years ago on a brush. I'm still using it, and yes, I took care of it, but didn't need to spend a long time doing it. Okay, yeah, that's definitely practical. I actually have a lot of brushes that I seldom use, so I have a lot more to use up before that. But yeah, that's just practical. I don't know. Everyone has their own different approach to it. Some people just, it's not even about the money, but it's more like the act of caring for your stuff. It may meet you with brushes. For me, it meets me with different things that I like to take care of, I guess. Interesting. Eldon Sauer says, "Hi all, Gelchek, nice baking. You're a man of many talents. Thank you." Oh, you're asleep. So I got another glass of wine. This is my personal glass. This is my personal glass. I'm gonna set that aside. So it looks like I will have a refill. So I'll have to get rid of this one. Gotta pick up the pace. Okay, I'm the slowest drinker ever. Like really, I drink so slowly. I remember when I used to go out with friends and we drink beer, which I hate. Look at the motion, beer. I just don't like beer. It's too. I know it's blasphemy for some people. I just don't like it. I never acquired a taste for it, and it's just I would drink so slowly. I'd look at other people's glasses because I'm weird that way, and they're like here, and I'm like here. So yeah, that's always that. John says they look great, Liron. Thank you. Mary C. Worst brush mistake was using masking fluid on an expensive watercolor brush that accidentally picked up the wrong tool, trashed it in seconds. Yeah, that's so true. Masking fluid for me, it's terrible. I'll choose the cheapest brush I can get, or I'll get one specifically for applying masking fluid. There's just no hope. If it touches a brush and it's not synthetic, like really hard bristle, it's gone. And that's too bad. I didn't have that happen to me. I used it with cheaper brushes so far, so it's good. The thing you can do if you want to salvage it is to really wait for it to dry, wash it with warm water, and then you can kind of pick back up the dry chunks of masking fluid, but you're not guaranteed and you'll probably rip out a few hairs. It's really bad. Yeah, sorry to hear that. Laura T, Jack of all trades, great job at the food, thank you. I was only responsible for the buns, by the way. I did not prepare the burgers, did not prepare the potatoes and sweet potatoes. I'm not good at that. Marjorie Johnson, watercolor, food for the soul, mini burgers, food for the body, for sure. Martine McFarlane, happy Hogmanay New Year Eve from Scotland. Cool. How do you pronounce that? Hogmanay or Hogmanay or something differently? Let me know. That is art, not those white and sweet potatoes are those potato chips. Online recipe. So yeah, it's very simple. You just cut the potatoes in its potatoes. You just slice them like in to make it like round circles. You hold the potato, you chop it like that, thin slices. You put a bunch of seasoning on it, whatever you like. So I like personally paprika. We also have like chicken soup powder thing. It's not the healthiest, but it's really good. Salt and pepper. Pop it in the oven for maybe around 40 minutes, I think. So I think it's 180 Celsius. I don't know how much that is in Fahrenheit, because we have Celsius here. Mark says, nice buns. Sujanith says, hi Liron, hey, how are you? You also say, I recently tried a Bockingford paper. It's almost same like ours. Yeah, I heard good things about Bockingford. Haven't tried it, can't say my opinion. Avishag Girard, watercolor are you from Israel? Would you do a workshop in the future, even online? So yeah, I think I will. I do lessons, and now because of the COVID and stuff, you can't do it really. A lot of people ask about workshops. It's just not something I got into enough, but I may do that. Online makes sense. It's a good question. I may do that. I feel like I'll either do a video or I'll do a person one-to-one. The in-between of doing a workshop live with students is a bit tricky for me. I still don't feel too comfortable, not comfortable, but too competent in that. I don't know how to explain it exactly. I'd much rather either pre-film it or do like a live stream. But if I'm actually committed to all of the students and it's not just a demo, I don't know. It's something I'll need to consider doing in the future. Laura T says, my 2021 goal is to paint and post a small painting every day while working on large colored pencil and marker passion projects at my own speed. That's a great goal. I will say this, everything that is daily is very challenging. So I would definitely drop Saturdays and Fridays here that's the vacation days. So Saturday and Sunday, I would drop if you want to do it every day, just from experience. But if you want to try and climb that mountain, go for it. Like do it every single day. Or maybe that's what you assumed. Maybe that's what you meant. I will say anything that you have to do on a daily basis, every single day, including the weekends, is super hard. So just letting you know that, but you probably know that and you may have already taken it into consideration. John says, 100K is so well deserved. You have worked so hard for it, Liron. Congratulations. Thank you so much. One of the things is you probably noticed that I don't really mention too many milestones. Like when I got the 50K or 70K or 80 or 90, I don't really think about it that much, to be honest. But the thing with the 100K is that you do get that play button from YouTube, and I want to get it and put it on the wall. So you'll probably see it there. That's a good spot for it, so that when I'm working, where is it? Here it is. So that when I'm working, I can look at it. That's I think a good way to do it. So yeah, that's something I'm excited about for sure. David Green says, are there really 100K watercolor painters out there, or are non-artists just looking for entertainment? So David, a couple of things. I used to do a lot of drawing videos, and some of my most viewed videos are not watercolor related. In fact, my most viewed video is sketching related. It's a sketching exercise. So that explains the 100K. I'll definitely say there is 100K people painting with watercolors. I don't think I have even 20% of that on the channel, or maybe even 10. I don't think I have that many people. It's a mix. It's really a mix. Plus, there's the painting masters. There's all sorts of interesting things. I used to do like the spontaneous sketches series where I just do pen sketches for fun, urban sketches. So it's a bit of a larger and wider audience than just watercolor. Christine Kaiser says, happy Hogman from Scotland. John says, cheers. Laura T, these are worse things. There are worse things than to be a slow drinker, for sure. That's my weakness. I'm good with that. Generally always liked beer, but shifting more to wine lately, yeah. By the way, I can barely drink. Like if I drink, I'll wake up super tired and fatigued, so I try not to. Especially if I mix it with junk food, so getting old. That is Artnot says, yes, drink slow, then by the end of the stream we'll be able to comprehend what you say. No, I agree with you. If I drink too much, it's going to be a problem for sure. So one thing is, yeah, I am a very slow drinker, but I'm really good at maintaining my speech, let's say, while I drink, so that's a good thing. Desart says, cheers. Rena Cairo says, best wishes for 2021. Thank you so much. Rena Christine Dima Felix. Hi, Liron. I found your channel this year, and I learned a lot from you. Thank you, and God bless. Thank you so much, Rena. Martine McFarlane says, Hogman A. So I guess it's Hogman A? I hope I pronounced it correctly. Mary C. I learned to keep masking fluid on the left with the cocktail sticks and a cheap plastic tool. Push brushes on the right with spare water. So here's the funny thing. When I visited Paris, I painted with a really cool guy, and he told me that on many occasions he was drinking beer while painting, and he would accidentally take the water glass for the watercolor, like this thing, this disgusting thing, and accidentally drink from that. And always I kept wondering, like, how do you get that to happen to you? Because he used to paint a lot plein air, like in cafes and restaurants. So I guess that makes sense. I've never had that happen to me. So it's funny, like you have to make a separation. Here you put the watercolory stuff or that masking fluid stuff, and here you put your brushes. For sure, I get it. Posh. Mary C says posh. Oh, okay, yeah. That is Artnot says, cheers, thanks for the potato chips or your style potato. The coating sounds great. Always like to try new foods, even simple recipes. And yeah, and one thing I forgot is olive oil. So you need to add to that olive oil. Laura T says 180 C is about 350 Fahrenheit. Okay. Yeah, I wanted to guess 400, but then I said, I'm not sure. It sounds like a little less. Nice. Pranshu Sharma, you got any courses related to architectural sketches? So a couple of people asked me about it. I'm going to write it down as an idea. Architectural sketches. It seems like there's a market for that. So I may consider doing it. We'll see. Not at the moment, though. Kelvin Zero, how are you? Happy New Year. Marco Hayo, Pebeo drawing gum pen, masking fluid in marker form. Oh, that's interesting. I should get that. I'm going to add that as a note as well. Pebeo. Now I'm selfish. I'm just taking my time writing notes for myself. Pebeo gum pen for masking fluid. I'll just get that. It's so much easier You know, it's one of these things that if I look for here in Israel, I will never find them. All of the specialty things, they never have them in stores. And even stupid things like this one, the pencil extender here, they never have these in stores here. I don't know why, it seems so basic. Now let me show you something. I just finished using another one today. So this is the older one and I finished another one. So that's two that I can no longer use. I put them in the pencil extender, but at some point it gets too short to even sharpen. So I have to give them up. I think I'll save all of these, to be honest with you. I don't know, we'll see. Probably use them for something in the future. But in any case, yeah, this you can't even find here. It's really frustrating. So let's see. I'll have to move some stuff around if I don't want to knock over that wine glass. Let's move that. Set that aside. Getting a bit hungry. Rayman, your burgers reminded me of the McDonald's in Tel Aviv 60 years ago, before McDonald's came to Israel. So these are actually from a butcher shop by a really good chef. It's called the Katzabiya in Shenkin. Shenkin is a big street here in Israel, in Tel Aviv. So yeah. Chubby J draws at Marco Hauer. I tried Pebeo pen and the fluid tore up my cotton paper. Not a brand I will return to. Okay, I'll try a different one then, a different brand. Calvin Zero. I wanted to paint every day, but so far I keep failing at it. Watercolor painting takes too long to complete. Work smaller. That's what I do. I finish a painting real fast because I work slower. Ian Jackson. How are you, Ian? How are you, my friend? Hi, all. Arthur Koopman says Nita Engels suggests using a rigging brush for masking. The fluid doesn't get into the heel that easily. Then cleaning with dish soap and water 50-50. That actually makes sense. I'm just not going to risk any real brush I use. I'm just going to use, like, I'd much rather use cotton swabs, like for the ear cleaning type, rather than that. Mary Seberg, I retired in 2020 and just started painting. I love watching your videos, have a lot to learn. I expect to grow as I put time in it. Drawing is a challenge and sometimes trace backgrounds for paintings. Yeah, for sure. Tracing is cool. So let me get into some more of the things I want to talk about, and then we'll continue with the chat. So it's good you wrote the questions you have, and if you have any more, let me know. I'll try addressing them again. So yeah, the plans for 2021. One of the main things is the How to Simplify course, and that's kind of an announcement. I hope it will be out by the end of January 1st. Now, what does it mean for it to be out? Two things. One, I'm going to put the whole thing on Udemy for free, so you can actually, hopefully by the end of January, go visit Udemy. It's a website for courses. They take a huge percentage from teachers, so I don't know what to say about the platform itself, but it does get a lot of organic traffic. So I did make quite a lot of sales from there. So basically what you do is you go to Udemy and you can watch the whole thing, or if you prefer to do it on a day-to-day basis, I think the entirety of my content for February, March, yes, is going to be the course. So what I can do is drip it. For example, I do my videos on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. So instead of that, it's just going to be the courses, the lessons. There's about, I think, 20? Anywhere from 15 to 20, maybe 15, 18, I don't remember, lessons. So I'm just going to drop them one by one every day. And then you can do it at a slower pace. You can pace yourself. And that way, if you don't like the external platform like Udemy, you just don't do it. Okay? I have considered putting it on my own website. I'll have to figure it out. I don't know if I want to do that just yet. We'll see. Maybe I will, like, put a dedicated page with all of the lessons. I'll have to think about it. Maybe I will. You know what? I think I'll do it. Yeah, I'll create maybe a second file. It's just a bunch of work. Maybe I'll do it later. Maybe I'll do it after the fact, after the course is completed. And yeah, this is the plan. So I have a lot of work to do, but the way I see it, the bulk of the work, the actual hard part, is the filming and the creation of the content. So actually painting and filming it and demonstrating it and talking and basically creating the content itself. Afterwards, it's just about editing. So I have to edit all the lessons, do an intro, outro, do thumbnails, and it's just gonna and upload it and like create the lessons descriptions, make sure that the extra materials are uploaded and you can access them, like the high quality scans of the paintings and so on, and maybe create a PDF, like a PDF version of the course. So there is a lot of kind of technical work to be done, designing the web page with the course, but I think I can get it done by the end of January, I think. The thing is, it's going to take a lot of my time in January, so I'll probably do less content and stuff like that, but it will kind of correct itself in later months, because think about it this way. I have content for YouTube for at least a couple of weeks because the lessons are ready. So I think that's a good way. Let me know what you think of the idea, basically, of me just publishing on the normal days of videos, the course, okay? And the lessons are there's a great variety. So it's not going to be like everything is painting processes and then you won't get painting master, you won't get talking videos. It's a mix of talking videos, showing artworks by other artists, painting. So you're going to have a lot of everything. Let me know what you think of this idea. And because I don't want to go completely lazy on you, we can still have the live streams and maybe one video a week or something like that, just to keep something going in addition to the course. Okay, so you can expect maybe 4 videos a week or something like that. Or we can decide that 1 video per week is the course. So every, say, Tuesday, I'll post 1 course lesson, and then I save myself the work on an extra video every week. Let me know your thoughts on all of these. I'm curious to hear that. It's been a long time coming. This course should have been done earlier. I had a lot of distractions in the form of things I wanted to do before, things I wanted to get done first, things that I was more passionate about, to be honest with you, artworks that I wanted to work on. So yeah, it's just a matter of prioritization, and to keep my own sanity as an artist and as a creator, I had to do that. So I just wanted to share that with you. But it will be hopefully done by the end of January. Better late than never. One of the things that, here's the thing, very often, and that's a very important topic in terms of motivation. Very often the frustration of lack of productivity ends up hurting you more than the lack of productivity. So you don't paint enough, and then you maybe feel frustrated, and you end up not painting more because you're used to connecting painting with frustration, and then you end up not doing it. You want to practice something, but in your mind it looks like a chore or like a big deal, so you don't do it, then you judge yourself harshly, and you end up making yourself feel worse and not wanting to do it anymore. That's a bad spiral. You don't want to get into that. A big part of what I'm trying to train myself to do is to not judge myself that harshly when it comes to failures, really. That's what it is, because I want to give myself that I'm doing so much work that I want to feel okay with whatever I don't finish, whatever I don't completely, fully complete on time. Like there is a limit to how productive you even want to be in a way, I think, and yeah, you just have to cut yourself some slack. That's the bottom line. Don't let that judgment hurt you in the long run more than the fact that you're unproductive. So just a point to be had. Now, one more big topic, and then I'm going to read some more of your messages, is stimulation. I don't know if you can relate to that, but I very often find myself having to have stimulation in the background while I'm working. So I'll be painting, and like I have to listen to a podcast, or I have to listen to music. I have to have some kind of noise in the background. Now, it's okay if I have a painting session, like a long one, a big piece, I'm inking my comic, stuff like that, that's fine. But if I only have like an hour to paint and then I have to move on to something else, and the task switching cost, and the fact that I have to open YouTube, pause the video, then I see something that distracts me, I open it up or I save it for watch later, I then remember, oh, I want to check something. It's just a big distraction. So what I decided to do, a big emphasis on that in 2021, is to make a complete separation between leisure and work in the form of like my browser window. I know it sounds silly, but trust me, for me, that will work. So I have my main browser window where I work, which has everything open, like my tasks, the YouTube channel, the different websites, painting references, whatever it is, my comic, my manga. I have that window, and I have a separate window for things that are not work related. So that'll be like YouTube for the music stuff, the podcasts I'm listening to, eBay for looking at Pokemon cards. Yes, it's a problem. All of these things are going to be in a separate window, and the window is going to be minimized. I'm not going to look at it while I work. And whenever I do anything that is not just painting for fun, or inking my manga or anything like that, I'm not going to open that window at all. So I make a complete separation between like real work and a break. And that's huge for me because that probably eats at least 20 to 30% of my time. So if I work 8 hours, you can immediately remove 30% from that. If I work 10 hours, remove 30% from that just on time wasting, really time wasting. And I can't afford it now that I have more work to do and I have more things I want to complete. Now, don't get me wrong. That doesn't mean no breaks. I will take breaks, but I'll take them separate from work. So I finish work faster and then I can take a proper break where I can actually enjoy myself, watch the video properly and not multitask. That's the thing. It really is a huge time waster. And I want to be in a place where, for example, let's say I practice anatomy, like I started doing, or let me show you even a better example. Let's say I want to practice drawing folds in clothes, like I did like really recently. So here we go, a couple of practice sessions of clothes. You see folds, clothes, look at that. I really like the way that looks. Here in particular, this baggy thing. Let me show you another one, the next page. Sweater here, but I'm going to show you something better. I think I should have it here. Yeah. So look at all of these. I really enjoy doing these. Now, this is a study session. It's a deliberate time I take to improve a skill. I don't want to mix that with listening to a podcast. I don't want to listen to, because I started realizing, like, what am I escaping? What am I running away from? Being completely immersed in the work? Am I trying to, in a way, distract myself from the work? You know, so that's a huge one. Like, and I called it rehab from stimulation while working. I actually wrote that down. That's huge. That's really, really a big task, in my opinion. And it's something I'm going to do religiously. It's just a decision I made. It's going to make me at least 30% more productive based on my quick calculations. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on that. And if you experience the same thing, kind of distractions. And it's great, like, I get it. Sometimes when you do artistic work, music and sound is a great accompaniment. It's really helpful. It can put you in the mood. I'll just have dedicated sessions for that, not when I do my real work. So yeah. Course I Am says, I enjoyed the urban sketching you did. That's how I found your channel a couple of years ago. So here we go, a live example. I plan on doing more of those. It's been a while. I know I want to do more. Pranshu Sharma, which is better for realistic work, architectural buildings, acrylic or watercolor? I think both are good. Honestly, whatever you prefer. And you will find that you like one of them much more than the other, in my opinion. If you like both, cool, do both. I didn't paint enough acrylics, so it's hard for me to say, but what I will say is with acrylics you can continue fixing mistakes more and more and more and more. So that's definitely something to have in mind, because if you can continually fix mistakes, you can get, in theory, a more realistic result, whereas watercolor is kind of a one-way street, like a roller coaster ride. You go on it, you finish it, and that's it. So yeah, my 2 cents. Avishak Girard says the YouTube play button is a good goal to look for. Yeah, definitely. John says, for 2021, I'm working on my patience and better daily routine to deal with lack of motivation. Your podcast videos really help get me into creative mindset. Yeah, that's amazing. I'm so happy to hear. I know I'm super slow on answering messages, but John, feel free to write me a message and tell me more about it. I'm curious to hear more. Also, or you can send me an email. I'm more guaranteed to see emails, honestly. So let me know more of that. If it's something that still you feel like plagues your workday, I'm gonna give you some more advice on how to improve in that from a very unusual direction that you may have not thought of, that I will mention through the lens of working out. I'm gonna talk about that soon. Kaori says, just want to thank you for all your lessons this year. Greetings from Brazil. Thank you so much. Biabong, all the best. Thank you. Eldon Summers, I too have had the misfortune of zoning out and drinking paint water. I even had a pipette in the glass. Oh, like the thing that you drop water with. That's funny. Avishak Girard asks, המלצות, I'm going to read it in Hebrew so that you can hear some Hebrew and then I'll translate. המלצות למכחול נייר אחר שווה לצבעי מים לבקש ליום הולדת, 18 מחר. בעדיפות לכאלה שאפשר להשיג בארץ. Okay, so she asks if I have any recommendations for a brush or paper or something really cool for watercolor to ask for the 18th birthday, preferably ones you can actually get in Israel. So I will say that Escoda brushes are some of the best you can find locally. You can find them in My Art in Dizengoff Center, Tel Aviv. These are really good. You can find, I believe, the one you will find more commonly. Let's see if I have it handy. I don't have it here, but maybe here. I don't remember where I put it, but there is a certain kind of Escoda brushes that is very common and you can find here, and these are a little more expensive and I think are great. What I would ask for is like a watercolor set. I love Daniel Smith's Essentials, I believe it's called. It's the set that has primary colors, like a cool and a warm version of each. That's the one I would go for. It's a really good one. So Daniel Smith's Essentials, you can find it also in My Art. I don't remember if you can find it in Arta, but check it out. It's really good paint, very useful. It comes in smaller tubes, so you can actually test them out, and it's not too big of a commitment. Let me see if I have one here. I have one, but it's completely folded, and I want to show you one where you can actually see it. I don't see one, though. So it's this kind of a teeny tiny 8 milliliter tube. If it's unfolded, you'll see it like this. Not 8, it's 5 milliliter. Let me show you. Let me open it up. This one's the Pyrrole Scarlet, which is one of my favorites. See, it's a tiny tube. I recommend getting this primary essentials set. It's a really good one. It's a bit pricey. It has so many useful colors, in my opinion. Raymond says Hogamene is the Scots word for the last day of the year. Cool. Eldon Summers, I use Molotov masking fluid marker. I keep damaging the paper though, but I think that's user error by not being patient enough. Interesting, I haven't heard of that. I'm gonna write it down for myself. Molotov. Okay, oh, I think I saw the brand on Amazon once. Marjorie Johnson, when I was a child, I knew people that opened their guest rooms to artists from Europe to come to the country to paint landscapes. Does anyone do that today? Interesting. That sounds really cool. Mary C, you can also use a needle to put into a mechanical pencil or just a thin twig. Yeah, for sure. Ian Jackson, try a Derwent pencil extender. Derwent. Okay, I'm happy with the ones I have actually, but I may try one in the future. Lisbeth Rodriguez, Olaf from Costa Rica. I just wake up and it's always nice to see you early in the morning while I drink my coffee. Best wishes for the next coming year. Thank you so much, Lisbeth. I really appreciate it. Laura T, you could make a modern art piece with your pencil stubs by hot gluing them to the canvas. I'm going to do that with my colored pencil stubs someday. So here's the thing I had in mind. I may make a frame out of them, like just put them pointing either inwards or outwards, like that, and create a frame. That could be nice. So yeah. Mary C. Marjorie says, Mary C. I never thought of that. Thanks. So good idea. Thank you, Mary C. Marco says Udemy. Yeah, that's the website exactly. Amy Art Lou, would like access to the new videos on your website, please? So you're saying you'd like to have access to the new course on the website? Let me know. And are you the one who sent me an email about access to the existing course? Let me know. I did answer to a few emails yesterday, so hopefully I answered yours as well. Beer Green 1 says, sup. Kelvin Zero, sup yourself, by the way. How are you? Kelvin Zero, have you heard of using color as value? I'm not sure what you mean by that. I mean, colors, values, it's interchangeable in a way. Some colors are kind of more suitable for certain values, I guess. Some colors are naturally darker. But let me know what you mean. Trish Dorton says, Happy New Year from Georgia, USA. Happy New Year's to you too, Trish. Thank you so much. Zine Cal saying, 1 lesson a week sounds great. It would actually help me to complete the course if I have to keep going. Okay, I'm going to write it down. That's good to know. How to simplify lesson a week. That makes sense. That actually makes a lot of sense. So that we don't blast through it. RTuber Vlogs, Happy New Year from India. Thank you so much. Ian Jackson, main 2020 project, I guess 2021 project. Build a bass guitar by hand is okay. Main 2020 project, which was building a bass guitar by hand, is almost complete, and then I can get back to full focus on my watercolor art. That's super duper cool. Do you actually like buy the parts to it, or do you take them from other bass guitars? I'm curious to hear. I love that. There's this super viral video, I think, here on YouTube where they show how they make from colored pencils. They make a guitar from colored pencils. Really cool. I love these kind of things. Kelvin Zero, I usually have a TV drama going whenever I paint. While the watercolor is drying, I can watch TV. Yeah, that's another thing you can do. I use the hair dryer sometimes, but I do like to have a break. So yeah, I'll just do something else while it dries. Christine Kaiser, you just described me exactly. I guess about the distractions. Mary Seberg, do you know how to get a desired value by practice, or is there a technique? Yeah, it's just practicing getting the right value. That's all there is to it. I think I should do a value matching video soon, because the last one I did was a full painting. I need to show you the technique. Value matching video. Like a proper, simple, straightforward value matching video on YouTube. I'll do something like that. That'll better show it, because I wanted to send someone my value matching tutorial, and then I realized it's this king statue painting process, and I realized it's not really a value matching, more than a painting process where I match the values. So I think it's better to do something more specialized. Kelvin Zero, value is basically water control. Use the tea to butter method. Yeah, that's one way to go at it. John says, I will send you an email, my friend. Thank you. Yes, send me an email. I'll see it. That is Art says, the part of mistake I find is the worst and is only the time lost. I learned from mistakes itself, so that is good, but the time lost is the reinforcement to change what I did wrong. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, I get it. You don't want to go too hard on yourself for time lost as well, because if you try doing something, then you tried it, you know. I'm like that too. I'll beat myself over the head for time lost when I don't need to, so, you know. Daiji Shinomori says, hi Liron, Happy New Year. Thank you. And Happy New Year, everyone. Cubs win, happy 2021 from Texas. Thank you for sharing your passion and skills so unselfishly. My pleasure. Lollipop Art. Laura, how are you? Happy New Year from New York City. If you're ever in New York City, in Manhattan, go check out Laura's art. You can find her at Lollipop Art on Instagram. Feel free to reach out and ask her where she's opening her street gallery. Highly recommended. Miran Armendariz, Feliz 2021, saludes desde Chile. Cool. One thing I noticed when I visited Chile was how they pronounce the S. They drop the S very often. So instead of saying tres, like three, uno, dos, tres, they say tre. So I guess maybe you say desde without the S. Let me know. It's interesting. I love Chile so much. It's such a good time there. Kelvin Zero, using color as value. Basically, you can't mix color or value. Just use the proper color that is similar to a value. Interesting. You can't mix color or value. Just use the proper color that is similar to a value. I think I get what you mean. If you have a video, feel free to drop a link or send it to me. I'm curious to see if this technique is demonstrated somewhere. It's interesting. I'll have to give that more thought. Itaman Shani, do you know Marco Bucci channel? Fantastic artist with amazing watercolor urban sketches, very good art education content. Yes, I do. I find it very rare to have someone ask me, do you know about XYZ channel? And me not knowing about it. Like, I've watched almost every watercolor or painting channel for that matter. Mostly watercolor and gouache. I know most of them probably, if not all of them. I really can't think of a channel I don't know in watercolor. Unless it's like a brand new one, but I know pretty much all of them. Yeah, Marco has a really good channel. John says, some artists talk of transferring their emotions, feelings into their art. I don't experience this and feel disconnected from my work. Am I doing something wrong? How is this achieved wrong? It's a good question. I'm going to give a bit of a curveball there. I do think a lot of it comes from competence, and it can be very elusive. You may think that there's some kind of a thing you have to do, some kind of a thing you have to generate on the inside or actively do or encourage with external means like music or stuff like that, which can help, by the way. From my own experience, this is all about the competence. Once you get so comfortable with the medium that you don't have to almost think about it, and you get to a point where you kind of get the results you want, you can inject more emotion into it. And I definitely have that with that painting. I'm going to show you this painting now, because this is a painting where I really was able to put it into it, I feel like. So let's bring it over here and show you. So you see it here. Here it is. With this one, I was really able to inject it. And funny enough, to these areas in the background, I was really into the process. I was listening to music, it's a scene I feel comfortable with in a way, you know, cars and cityscapes and this park here. I knew immediately what I want to convey with it, which is these beautiful horizontal shadows. And I was able to inject it into it, all of the feelings I had towards the scene. This is actually really close to where I live. This is a park. A very nice view always here with the trees and the sun coming from the left. It's from here. It's very, very nice. And this kind of a scene really evokes in me the desire to bring more emotions in. But had I not practiced watercolors so much to the point where I feel very comfortable with it, I may have not been able to create this kind of a thing with the full emotions extent of it. So I will say you're not doing anything wrong, and it is a matter of time and practice. Sometimes you will get glimpses of it. It's like being in the zone, or you know, people call it being in the state. There are tons of books written on it, being in the flow. This mental state of pure creation. Let me show you my face. This mental state of pure creation where you're just in it. And you're just, this is going to be easier, and you're just fully immersed in the process. You will get kind of a lucky glimpse of it, even when you're not that experienced in the medium, and then you may produce something that you love and is beautiful, even though technically it's not like the best, or it's not the most complex. But I would say the more competent you are in the medium, the more experienced you are. It's not something you have to do, really, it just happens. So that's my point, at least my approach to this. It makes sense, I get it. This being in the zone is something a lot of people describe, you know, athletes especially, of having time slow down and really being in it. And the only trick for attaining it is to just really practice your skills. No other way to describe it, I think. Okay, next. Let me know if that answers your question. That is Art says, yes, seen the colored pencil guitar too, totally inspirational in that all the different things that can be used to build a guitar, or many other things for that matter. Yeah, definitely. It's such a cool guitar. Course I Am says, access to the existing course was me. All good now. Oh, yeah, okay. Because I got a bunch of emails. Actually, I have to apologize because there seems to have been a technical issue if you've bought my course with the discount. For anyone who purchased it with PayPal, there seemed to have been a technical issue where you bought it, and for some reason, the website I'm using for it did not link the purchase to your email. So you basically log in and you see nothing. You see no content. So I got like 10 emails one day saying, hi, I just purchased the course. I don't see anything when I log in. So that was my fault, and I had to manually fix it. I still have to manually fix it. I don't know what it is. It's so weird. But the discount is going to be over from tomorrow, I think, so that's fine. There will be no new students that encounter this issue, hopefully. And if you want to get it, today's the best time to get it. Nadia Ford, hello Liron. Sorry, can't stay for today's session, busy with New Year's preparations. We'll watch the video later. Thank you so much, Nadia. Wishing you and your family a very happy New Year. Thank you so much. Mary C, 2021 resolution, declutter, organize space so I know where tools are before I start, because I waste time setting up and then clearing space or looking for the right tool halfway through a wash. That is so true. One thing I also learned from Tim Ferriss, who's a very smart guy, is any task that will save you time down the line is preferable. So organizing, creating a system that works automatically for things that you can delegate to a system. Anything that you create that will save you time down the line is a top priority thing. And for me, that actually means working on the products, because right now I can afford to basically just make videos, just make content for free, and live off of that, because I built a system that automatically makes my paid content accessible. So you watch a video, most people just watch the video, they don't even realize there's a paid course. They just enjoy the free content. Some people actually watch till the end and see me say that check out in the description box below the frustration-free watercolor course. They hit the link, they buy the course, and it all happens automatically because I built a system that allows me to do that, that allows me to make more out of my time. That's one of the first things I thought of doing when I started building my business 7 years ago. It was just that I really, really wanted to have control of my own time. And the good part of it is that I can actually now spend time sharing free content with you, and it actually helps me because it brings more people to the courses. So that's the way I wanted to do it from the get, and I'm so grateful that I was able to do it. Cubs Win says, have you heard of Michael Soloviev? He uses a very unique flat 7 lines brush. Yes, I have, and I actually have that brush. So Michael Soloviev, I actually did, I believe, a Painting Masters video on him, and I sent him the video, and he's such a cool guy. He's a Daniel Smith brand ambassador, and he just told me, hey, what's your address? I'm going to send you some stuff. And he sent me 2 sketchbooks, one of which I used for the Washtober challenge in October, and another sketchbook I still have here and I started using for plein air, and a couple of brushes, including that beautiful flat brush. It's really nice. It's a really nice brush. Let me see if I can grab it real fast. Let me check if I can see it. I don't remember where I put it exactly, but if I can find it quickly, no. So yeah, I don't have it handy right now. I will share it in a future video, probably try using it. It's a really interesting brush, kind of like a bamboo wooden brush. It's really interesting. And I love Michael's work. He's so good. He has a YouTube channel with very, very interesting processes. Very rare to see someone that is of that caliber producing videos. So yeah. Lucifer Fernandez, Happy New Year from Mexico. Saludos a los hermanos latinos. Yeah, that's cool. So happy New Year to everyone. Miren Armendariz, hablamos bastante mal por acá. A veces no pronunciamos las S. Okay. So you say you're basically talking wrong, and that's why you don't pronounce the S. That's funny. We have so much of that in Hebrew. So much slang. More slang than actual rules in language. It's terrible. Eldon Summers, Arlisha Yetzer is one of my favorite YouTube artists, and the way she explains how she puts emotions and feelings into her art is a level of competence I wish I can reach someday. So I'm not familiar with that artist. The name rings a bell, but I don't think I ever watched a video. So I'm going to write it down for myself. YouTube. I'll definitely check it out and maybe add her to my Painting Masters list. Ian Jackson, I built from scratch basic components, blank bits of wood, and I buy the electric bits. The great bit about it is it has watercolor painting transfer on it. It's as a watercolor painting transfer on it. I'm not sure what that means. Let me know. Like, do you? Interesting. Is there what? Okay, you'll have to explain that. I'm not sure, Ian. Kelvin Zero, I don't really understand about injecting emotion into a painting either, so I just focus on making paintings like that. John says, great answer, that makes so much sense. Thank you, Liron. Yeah, don't overthink it, it will come with time, for sure. If you feel very competent and you still can't get that emotion, I would suggest maybe it's something else. We can cross that bridge. Let me know if that's the case in the future. Mark Ohio, love these distant ground level background trees in the painting you just showed. Oh yeah, I love these. These are so fun to paint. Ankles, I just saw you were live. Wanted to tell you your painting is amazing and you will go far on YouTube. Thank you so much. YouTube is huge, honestly. It's where I place most of my time in terms of content creation. It's the place I really devote a lot of time to. One of my like 2021 resolutions, by the way, and I do want to talk about that. Let me delete the things I talked about. Is TikTok. So TikTok is a huge video platform, and it's not competition to YouTube the way I see it. It is a different platform for quicker content, more bite-sized content, like many of the platforms that exist today. Now, YouTube has the strongest engagement, in my opinion, when it comes to longer videos, longer tutorials, things that actually require you to focus, and that's where I'll always be as long as the platform exists. But I do want to make the most out of this opportunity that is TikTok, so you will see more content there. I will post more quick videos, more tape removal videos. So if you're looking for quicker entertainment, you will see more of that there. And think about it this way. A lot of younger people are on that platform, and if they want to learn more, I can bring them over to YouTube so that they watch a couple of videos. They're like, that's so cool, how do you paint that? And I'll go like, check out the YouTube channel. And I actually link to the YouTube channel. So yeah, that's a cool thing to try, I think, to bring more people from there. So definitely more emphasis on TikTok, also on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is huge. It's becoming like Facebook, basically like career Facebook in a way. I'm doing a lot of good work there, making a lot of connections for the future, for things that I may want to achieve. To be honest with you, most of it is top secret, so I can't talk too much about it. But it is something I will share more in the future. You will see. But if you want to do something more like career-wise, I always get this thing from wine. Okay, if you want to do more like B2B stuff, LinkedIn is huge. I think it's really good. Ankles. Ian, I don't feel that it is very important to have emotions in every painting, as I feel narrative is much more important. Yeah, I get that approach too. I think emotions can be in the viewer's eye, not necessarily in the creator's eye. It's funny to say, but I really do think that. Arthur Koopmans, do you often frame paintings? Frames can become expensive at large sizes, especially with UV-resistant plexiglass. So I have a story for you. I barely frame. I only frame if it's requested and back when I put my paintings in a gallery. Now here's the thing. We decided on like 9 paintings to be put in the gallery. So I actually had to frame them all out of my pocket, obviously, because I was a new artist. They wouldn't do it for me. And I had to carry them to the gallery, like to actually, they're very heavy too. It was about 40 on 60 centimeters. And it just wasn't worth it, to be honest. Like I sold a few paintings to that gallery, but all of this work and hassle, and then they're like, you have to come here to pick up the check, the payment, like, can you do a bank transfer? Can you save that step for me? All of this hassle just to sell through a gallery. I'd much rather sell through my website, ship it myself, do everything myself, not frame it, send it unframed, let the customer frame it. Very often the customer will frame it. So most of the vast majority of paintings I sold were unframed, like 99.9%. Yeah, framing does get expensive. You have to include that in the costs. So if you're selling a lot of paintings, you have to really include it in the costs and calculate it with the price very often. If you can get a good relationship with a framing shop, that will be the best. If you have quantities, you will get discounts, obviously. But yeah, sometimes I'm jealous of oil painters that they can just have a canvas and it's much lighter. You can actually carry like 5 or 6 oil paintings if they're small, if they're not like super huge. Even if they're like this big, you can still carry them very easily compared to a water. Like all of these like 5 oil paintings will have the same weight as maybe 1 framed watercolor the same size. So it really is a logistic challenge in a way. I totally relate, and it also costs money, of course. I would say the best tip is to get a good relationship with a local store. That's the best, and they'll appreciate it. I had a guy, like, this is so funny. So my framing dude, it was a nightmare. So story time. By the way, let me know your thoughts of these live streams where I just talk and answer questions and tell stories. I hope it's entertaining. People seem to stay, so thank you for that, and hopefully it is entertaining. So here's the thing. This guy that I used to send paintings to, the thing is, he would do a perfect job at it. The frames would turn out perfect, but he would always be late. I could never rely on him when it comes to deadlines. So he would always say, "Oh, it's not ready yet. It's not." And he's not like, you have to understand, the people who work with frames, who cut frames, you'll meet all sorts of people. He actually lost fingers in this line of work. A very interesting guy, but he was super slow. The product was perfect. He did perfect job with it, like really good job. I would recommend him to anyone when it comes to content, to quality of the actual frame and everything. Like the work he would do, even choosing the colors, he was really good in recommending good colors. But I would always tell people, he's late. He's always late. If you were working on deadlines, don't rely on that. Like either set up the deadline much later, or just be ready to, like, don't go there without calling. That's what I say. I have a real problem with that. If someone says something's going to be ready at X date, I need it to be ready then. I see that as bad customer service, and if I'm late on someone, I feel really bad about it. I get it, delays are a thing. If there's a good reason for it, that's fine. If there's a justified reason for it, but if it's such a repetitive thing where it's late and late again, late again, late again, I just won't work with that person. So yeah, just my 2 cents. I may be too harsh, but I don't know, that's how I feel about my time, and that's how I want to feel about other people's time. So yeah. Ankles II says, could you do a video about painting a night scenes? Yes, it's in the way. I'm gonna write another note for myself. Night scenes tutorial. A couple of people have asked me to do that. I will. Okay, yeah, I know a lot of people want that. Cubs win. Do you know Brandon Schaefer's channel? I learned from his drawings in watercolor. He alternates between the two. Yeah, I know Brandon. He's really good. Yeah. Could you do entire lesson on cars, perspective with buildings, people? Yes. Cars in perspective. I'll do that. I actually have one. If you haven't checked it out, I have a video on how to draw a car in perspective. It's like from A to Z, everything. And I also show later a painted version of it. So be sure to check that out. Just search my channel for car perspective. You'll find it. Calvin Zero. Wait, isn't TikTok banned? It may be banned in the US. I don't care. I'll continue working on it as long as it's not banned. But it may be banned. Ian Jackson. In the new year, I'll be doing make your own quill brush. Oh, cool. That's really cool. So you'll make your own quill brush. I have no idea how it's done. I've seen a few videos of Escoda and other people. It's really interesting. Yeah, sure. Shilpam Art. Hello, Liron. Happy New Year to you. Keep going. Thank you so much. I will. Hosta Carol. Happy New Year, Liron. I so enjoy your paintings. It has been great to see your channel grow and your talent in watercolor evolve. Your portrait work is amazing. Thank you so much. And talking about that, I do want to add one of my biggest, another goal for 2021 is color skills. If you've seen my latest video, I talk about a major weakness I have. It's this one where I paint this scene. Now I do think the result is really nice looking, obviously, but it does show a problem I have and something I want to improve. Of controlling the saturation and the hue and matching the color properly. It's something I'm still struggling with, and it's going to be a main emphasis for 2021. Hopefully you will feel the difference. I feel like I lose a lot because I can't do that properly at the moment. So just a quick note on that. Whenever I have to, and I wanted to show you another painting, this one, right here. Whenever I kind of exaggerate the colors deliberately on my own, out of choice, yes, I can get an interesting thing going, but when I have to actually match the colors in a scene, I find it's still hard for me to do so. That's definitely something, I will give you a closer look of that later on again. That's definitely something I want to do more of. What's this? Oh, so I have another angle, cool. So yeah, colors. Huge. It's going to be a huge thing for me to work on during 2021. Fine art with Wided. I see this feeling as the main source of every artist. It is the drawing of what you feel, not what you see. True, in my opinion. As a self-made artist, painting is feeling, isn't it? That's an interesting question. Yes and no, I would say. Some paintings are like that. Some paintings aren't. If you understand that not all paintings are going to be like that, you'll do well. And when you get that kind of a gift doing a certain painting, and you can really accept it and immerse yourself in it, that's great. I have paintings that I can show you that I'll say, yes, this had that element to it, that X factor to it, that feeling and emotion and immersiveness to it. It's like you bring something that is truly of your own to it, of a part of your soul in a way. The thing is, it's not going to happen consistently. It's going to be a little different every time it happens. And you do need to build skills in order to be in a place where you get that to happen. Okay, so something to have in mind. Don't be too caught up on it, but feel grateful when it does arrive. That's what I'll say about it. Yes, the answer is yes. Painting is feeling in a way, and sometimes it's not. That's my opinion. Shilpam Art, can you suggest some YouTube channels for intermediate level growth who give good explanations, please? Gary Tucker. I would recommend Gary Tucker. Let me write that down in the chat. In fact, let me link to Gary's channel. I'm going to link to his channel. He is, I think, the closest that comes to that, Gary Tucker. I would also recommend checking out someone like Joseph Zbukvich or Alvaro Castaneda, their paid courses, because they don't have a free YouTube channel. They do, but it's not really content dense at the moment. Maybe in the future they will make more. And they also don't explain much, they demonstrate more. Gary Tucker is your guy for that. He's really good. And he goes into detailed explanation of a lot of the things he does. But to be honest with you, not many. I don't have many people like that. Steve Mitchell, Mind of Watercolor, but I don't know if I would necessarily say intermediate. He's more in the beginners realm, not because like he's super skilled. It's just because he does a lot of beginner oriented videos, which are great, like papers and color mixes and stuff like that. He also does advanced stuff, but more, I think, more beginner stuff, and I like that. I think it's very important. Thelma Blake, I tried to send a comment on emotional painting and it would not post. I've done it, they exist in the series. Send it again, or send me an email if you can send it here. Calvin Zero, if I frame my painting, the price of that painting would increase 3 times. Yeah, for sure, I get it. Okay, here's one more hack for you. You can actually get pre-made frames. That's a really good way to go. I can't believe I didn't say it earlier. Okay, so go to Home Depot, something like that. I guess even like, which other stores can have it? Like Walmart should have them. Pre-made frames. Just buy a pre-made frame. They come in standard sizes. Cut your paper to that size and paint that size. I do that. And I actually sold some paintings with these frames, and the customers knew it. They didn't care. It's cheaper. It's significantly cheaper. So I would say it's even down to quarter the price. So go for that. Buy a pre-made frame. Get it framed yourself. Just put it there. Cut it if you have to do like minor cuts. Use this kind of a, you know, what do you call it? Palette knife? Not palette knife. I don't know, like a knife. Whatever, artistic knife. And just cut it to size. I really recommend doing that if you want to save money. Arthur Koopman, Storytime, I like it. Cool. Jamily says, I like Storytime. Daiji Shinomori says, the wine's out. This story will be interesting. Mary C, anyone wants seagull feathers? Lol, I'm going to use them to make a quill and try that out. Art is what I'm worst at. Just a hobby, so no pressure, but I will paint seagull next year. Yong Chen has a really good video about with a seagull painting process, if I recall correctly. I'm going to put it in. People always say, who did you say? What was the name? So I'm going to send it. Yong Chen Seagull. Let's do this. Let's be extremely specific. Oh, so he actually has 2 seagull videos, so let me share both. The first one I'm going to share is this one. This is the first one I saw. I love Yong Chen. So good. He's also good in actually explaining the process. Don't watch with headphones though, because one side seems to not work, unfortunately. So this is the first one I watched, and this is one new from 2 months ago that I didn't know existed. Seagulls by Yong Chen. So yeah, giving people promotional help. Zine Kalsang, love these. Just talking live streams is so much fun. Great info. It's great to learn from other people's questions. Perfect. Thank you so much, Zine. Kelvin Zero, can't rush quality. That's true. That's true. Surfer Rosa, just popping in to say congratulations and to wish you continued success and happiness in 2021. Thank you so much. Laura T, do you still sell your paintings, prints, or just commissions? Yes, I sell my paintings, not prints, the actual paintings, on my gallery online. Also just from friends and word of mouth. Also commissions occasionally from Facebook groups, local Facebook groups. I get some commissions. Actually, haven't had a commission in a while, but I do sell on my gallery. And from Instagram, people reach out and send messages. You can actually find them if you just go to the gallery website, Liron Gallery. I'm going to send, let me just bombard you with links. So this is my gallery. We should probably start increasing the prices. Just a thought. Okay, here we go. LironGallery.com. You can at least get an idea for the paintings. Also pricing, you can see there. Ian Jackson, watercolor transfer is... Oh, okay. So it's actually a thing I'm not familiar with. Watercolor transfer is what is called a water slip transfer paper that you print on and then put... Oh, I know what that is. It's transparent and you only see the printed image. I know what... So that's actually when you... I know what it is, yes. So when you have water and you dip something in it, that's so cool. There are a bunch of YouTube videos on that. Yeah, I know it. Kelvin Zero says, I think that is called water slide transfer or water decal. Yeah, I love that. This is so cool. So you're going to actually paint it like that. That is so cool. And Mary C says, Ian Jackson, I'll watch that if you upload it. Cool. You know what could be fun? Oh, that's... So I just got a really cool idea. Just got a top secret idea. With the guitar. I got a really cool idea. I'm gonna write it down. Okay, I got a really cool idea. That guitar thing is really... Okay, that's good. It's a secret. Okay, that's a really interesting idea. Okay, you may hear about it in a few months. Mary C, Ian Jackson, okay, watch this. Mary C, Liron, do you have a Patreon? So here's a brief history of Liron and Patreon. In my younger years on YouTube, I had a Patreon. I would link to it. It also had some perks to it, so extra posts, stuff like that. But then at some point, it didn't feel right for me to keep using Patreon. Why? Because I didn't feel the perks I was providing were good enough, and I didn't want that. I know some people get Patreon to work. Some people really love that, the fact that they can make, once a year, you know, you'll get a painting from me. So they'll do like small, cool paintings and send them to Patreon supporters every year. Exclusive content, more access. Here's the thing, I already do like content that documents my day, like on Instagram and all of the stories everywhere. So I didn't really have a use for Patreon, and it felt like it wasn't the right thing for me to ask money for that kind of a thing. So I closed my Patreon, and I started looking online for... I started getting emails of people saying, how can I support you? By the way, the short answer is yes, I have Patreon. I'm going to get to it. People emailed me a couple of times saying, how can I support you? I want to donate. And I was like, okay, I'm going to search for a way for them to do that. So I started looking for solutions. I looked at PayPal. I looked at a bunch of specialized solutions for it. And you know what conclusion I came up with? The best solution is actually Patreon. So I reopened my Patreon, and there are a couple of tiers, but there's 0 perks. So no perks. You just get my gratitude. And one thing, for any Patreon, no matter how much money you donate a month, I have the name of the patrons, the active patrons, at the bottom of the end outro of the video. That's the only thing. I'm not providing access. I'm not providing content. I'm not providing any perks, any Patreon exclusive videos, none of that, because I want my content to be free anyway. I'd much rather sell the courses if I'm already selling something. So I reopened the Patreon. The only thing is there are a couple of tiers, and you have your name at the end of the video, and that's it. So I do have a Patreon. I can link to it. Let me see. Patreon. I'll find it for you. Creator home, and I think I got the link. Let's see here. There we go. So I'm gonna link it. Honestly, I did it as a solution because people did ask me if I have a Patreon, and that was just the best solution I could find, funny enough. So I kept it alive. Plus, Patreon had a few controversies of kicking people off the platform without any warning, which that's scary. That's really scary, and I don't like that. So I didn't really want to give them my support for a while, but oh well, it's the best solution, so here it goes. Let's see here. So that's the long-winded answer to Mary for if I have a Patreon. Thank you for the question, Mary. Calvin Zero, at least that is what the plastic modeler calls it. Okay, so for the watercolor technique. That is art, not on time is great for sure. I've actually got in trouble for showing to appointments early. No joke, yeah, I get it. Daiji Shinomori, love the hue of the mountains, landscape so calming. Thank you so much. Calvin says, I think most people nowadays no longer follow the rules of if you are on time, you are late. If you're early, you are on time. Yeah, I get it. The world is changing. Um, uh, it's just that, to me, here's where the way I see it. You can tell me it's going to take a month. You can tell me something's going to take really long. I don't care. I'll accept that. I'll accept slow service. I just want to know, you know? I just want to plan my time accordingly and be aware of it. I don't like to keep people waiting, and I don't like to wait. Not in the like, I don't like to when people make me wait. No, it's not like an ego thing. It's an actual a schedule. I have things to do. Find out with Uwidad says, sure, thanks. Ian Jackson says, thanks, Mary C. Mary C says, I'm loving this chat format. Perfect. Thank you so much for letting me know. John said, thank you for all your encouragement and support and content posts. You really inspire me, my friend. Thank you. Thank you so much, John. I really appreciate it. By the way, I recently posted, John, if you're still here, hopefully you're still here. I posted Ruth's, a new video by Ruth on her Instagram page. And then you were like the second like. So I showed May. I was like, look at who's among the first people to like this. It was you. So thank you for that, for following Ruth, for being an avid Ruth follower as well. Thank you. Gelchek, as you work on colors and hues this year, I hope you will point this out often so that it will make us think it and work on it as well. Yeah, that's definitely my plan. So I plan on doing more videos on that topic, to talk about it more, to share with you this journey of improving. It's definitely important for me. So yeah. Kelvin Zero says box cutter. Okay, I don't remember the context. Sorry about that. That is art, not. Michael has frames. Michael's has frames. I've bought there before. Quite a few to choose from in a custom frame area as well. Perfect. Yeah, that's really good. Mary C. Liron, have you ever done a seascape? Yes, I have a few of them on YouTube. Just go to my channel and search seascape. You'll find everything. I actually have a playlist of seascapes in watercolor. Marjorie Johnson, I also buy pre-cut mats, not only frames. So yeah, that's really good. So mats are Passepartout, right? Like the white frame around it. That's really useful because here it's a little harder to find pre-cut mats. You don't find them as often, unfortunately. It would really help me. I actually had to make my own a few times. But yeah. John says, these live sessions, they're the best, my friend. Thank you. Cubs win. Have you heard of Levinson brushes? Tim Wilmot uses, I think. Yes, of course. It's my failure if you don't know that I heard of it because I am using them and I shared them in a couple of videos. Here are my Tracy Levinson brushes. And I plan on... Okay, so this is a good opportunity to tell you. Tracy Levinson reached out to me, told me about his brushes, and it's a very cool story. We've been corresponding for a while. He sent me a few brushes to try. They're great. Here they are. Almost every live stream these come up and I link to them. I will link to them as well in just a few moments. They're great. I do hope to show more of them in the future, and I am planning on doing a live stream with Tracy. We just talked about it recently via email. I want to bring him on and we'll just do an art talk. And we can talk to someone who makes brushes, pick his brains, learn more about what he does, how he does it. I think it's a really good thing to do. So you will hear more about him here on this channel, hopefully. I think I'm doing a decent job in showing the brushes, but I definitely want to show more of them. I'm going to link to his website. Tons of links into chat. This is the Levinson brushes. Gelchek says, Yongchen is so interesting. He mainly almost always just uses 3 colors. Yes, he also is a big fan of the limited palette, it seems. Ian Jackson, go for it, build a guitar. Like a tip jar. Don't remember the tip jar reference, but I'm not going to build a guitar, but it's a really good idea. It's a different idea related to it. Cubs win. Another good one is Cafe Watercolor. Eric Elin. Yeah, definitely. Oh, yeah, of course. How can I forget? Eric is really, really big on explaining the processes. Let me share. And if you like the style of Joseph Zbukvich, Eric has a lot of that. Eric Cafe Watercolor. You can really see a lot of the influences, even though it's a bit different. Now, let me see here. So this is Eric's channel. And, by the way, if any of you don't know, Eric is actually the person who painted me up on the wall that you can't see at the moment. Let me show you. Let me try and show you. So I'm going to take out the top camera and I'll do this. Okay, there we go. That's actually a painting by Eric at Cafe Watercolor, which is pretty darn amazing, I have to say. So yeah, let me switch to my face so that I don't get you too dizzy. And he made it, and he sent me an email, and it's just so cool. And I'm very grateful for that. Thank you so much, Eric. Let me rearrange the camera here. Hopefully I don't break anything. Okay, that's good enough. Let's see if you can see stuff properly. Yeah, that's good. Let's see what else we have here. Yeah. Ronak Ahir says Congo. So are you from Congo? That's cool. I think that's the first time I have someone from Congo on. Maggie C. Hi, Liron. Happy New Year. Thank you. Mary C. says, great, Youngchen. Thanks. Mary C. will check out your gallery website later. Okay, thanks. Thank you. John says, Ruth's the best. Yeah, she is. Lori Foster, Happy New Year to y'all. Thank you. Kelvin Zero, how do you figure out what to include in your website? So do you mean like the gallery? What to include in the gallery? It's interesting. I have so many paintings and I kind of just choose them at random. I need to upload more and like to renew the stock. I just choose paintings that I feel like are a variety of different subjects or a variety of that will create an interesting even visuals for the website. I have so many, there is no pressure to list all of them, so I just go with a few that I like. Honestly, a lot of the things I do are kind of random at times because it doesn't matter as much, you know. It's good to give people more options when it comes to size, to prices, to subjects, all of these things. So I try to get a good variety. Gemly, do you play guitar? Yes, I do. I've played the guitar a lot when I was like 16, I think, 17. Got a classical guitar, electric guitar, acoustic guitar. I have all three. In recent times, I haven't played it almost at all. I do want to do more of that. This is really like my downtime. If I can really relax and just play a bit, it's really fun. It's something I actually considered doing more seriously when I was like young. I never got to that. But if I would play the guitar, I think I'd go for classical music. I love classical music, and I love it on the classical guitar. So yeah, that's something I want to practice more, but it's really for my soul. It's not something I'll do too seriously, probably in the near future, if at all. Dimanche Dave says, I just subscribed to your channel. I wish you a happy 2021. Thank you so much, and welcome aboard. Thank you to anyone who just found the channel via a live stream. That's super cool. Thank you so much. Make it see, nice picture of you. Thank you. Daiji Shinomori, wow, that's a good portrait. Yeah, it is. And you can really see Eric's style in it. The way he likes to use the warm and cool colors, the edges, the way he works the brushes, I'm looking at the painting, he has a very particular way of doing it. And by the way, kudos to him. He shipped it in an actual cylinder, like a cylindrical package, which was really nice. You don't see many of these. He rolled it really large, so it wasn't too tight. So yeah, he shipped it really safely. That's really cool. Daiji Shinomori, oh yeah, I read that one. Gemly, Eric's value studies are excellent. Yeah, he's so good. John's Watercolor, I wish yourself, Ron, May, Ruth, everyone a wonderful and creative New Year. Thank you so much, John. Denny Chen, Happy New Year, Liron. Here in China, it's only 30 minutes away from 2021. That's cool. Yeah, I know somewhere in the world we have that. So now it's 5:30 here. Like 7 hours. 7? Yeah, 7 hours difference. I knew that. That's so cool. And Danny, I think that's also the first time I hear from someone from China. Definitely in the live streams, but also in the comments. I don't remember that. So really cool. Marjorie Johnson, now if you would just pose for a minute so I could do a sketch. Oh yeah, that's funny. I was drawn once. It was really fun. I had to sit like this for a while. By a good friend's dad who draws and paints really well. So that was fun. And you can see the Russian influence, like he had this old school kind of approach to portraits. David Briot, or is it Brio? Happy New Year, Liron. Thank you for your work, your talent. David from France. Thank you so much. So You saying you're from France convinces me that it's brio and you don't pronounce the T. Let me know. Ian Jackson. Cause COVID has made me time disoriented. I forgot it was New Year's Eve. Yeah, so true. You can barely feel it here as well. Mark Ohio. Play guitar when you're taking a break. Yeah, I should. Christine Gallermino. This session is so informative. Thank you and Happy New Year. Looking forward to many more videos. Thank you so much, Christine. David B.O. Jazz and blues, soul, funk music too? Not really. So my wheelhouse was like metal, like completely different. I played a bit of reggae, mostly metal, like Metallica, on the electric guitar, and classical music. But not really. Jazz, blues, soul, funk, none of these. I never got into them up till this point. Just randomly. It's not that I hate them, I just didn't really get to them. Ian Jackson, Liron, look up Paco de Lucia. Yeah, I know. I'm going to write it down for myself. I know this player. I have a few videos saved on a YouTube playlist of classical music, and some of it is on the guitar, and I do have Paco de Lucia. But great recommendation, great reminder. Dimanche Dave, did you drink blood? Or are you a vampire? No, it's actually wine. I'm drinking wine because it's close to 2021. Here it's actually 5:30 p.m., so not that late. Laurie Foster. It's only 10:30 a.m. here, which means I need to get back to work. I just wanted to wish you a happy, healthy, and prosperous New Year. Thank you so much, Laurie. And unbelievably, we're actually caught up with the chat. So let me go back and talk a bit about eating healthier and getting into shape. One of the things this year was very interesting in regards to my nutrition and getting in shape. I actually lost a lot of weight. In a healthy way, and then gained some of it back. I did the ketogenic diet for a while. Basically removed almost all carbs, and that was really good. I felt in that time period, it was around the start of the year, like January, February, felt very energetic. I would wake up super energetic in the morning, like no grogginess, none of that. And exercising, I'm pretty consistent, so I exercise 3 times a week, but it's more like a preservation kind of level. I just stay the same. I don't challenge myself too much. It's just a matter of priorities. But this year I had a thought, and that thought is I really want to, like, I know I've known for a while that I want to get into better shape, for a multitude of reasons. One is definitely the energy levels and being able to wake up more, I guess, awake and more alert and more well rested. Just general health stuff, to be honest with you. Feeling better, eating healthier, but also like future stuff, because I know it gets harder the older you get, and it is important for me to maybe, I guess, in this decade of my 30s to take care of this health thing. Which I never put too much emphasis on. And the thought that I got in my mind was, for an external change, almost always an internal change is necessary. So that means if I really want to get in better shape, eat healthier, eat less junk, and it's not like I'm the worst. I don't eat a lot of junk food. I eat like normal, like most people, I guess. But I want more than that. So the thing is, a lot of it is emotional, and I don't mean emotional in the sense of like heavy emotional eating, but it's like I'm bored, I may take something, get something to eat. I'm stressed, I may once in a while eat more because of that. It's just small things like that, and it really is true that to change the outside, and again, my main priority isn't necessarily visual, like being thinner or anything like that. It's more about feeling better and being healthier. Maybe developing more muscle tone. This is really, it's completely off topic, but I did want to share that with you. An internal change is necessary to some extent. So what I'm gonna do is eat my own dog food and actually take my own advice. And that is, I will start including in my vision, and if some of you may know, I have this vision, literally a document that I read every morning, preferably sometimes in the evening as well. As a part of my morning routine, I meditate, I write, and then I read this vision, preferably out loud. I will add to that a paragraph on health, because that's going to get it in my head. And I will make it more of a priority this year, for sure. A lot of things have connected for me, and I think I'll be able to do it this year properly. I have lost, at the start of the year, something like almost 10 kilograms. I don't know how much that is in pounds. I'll have to check, but that's quite a lot. Let's see. 10 kilogram to lbs. So that's 22 pounds. So I lost in the span of a few months 22 pounds, because I did have a bit of extra weight that I could drop. I'm not trying to be super skinny or anything like that, but I did want to, just the belly, get rid of the belly mostly. But yeah, I'm going to make it more of a priority this year. I gained some of that weight back, but I do want to make it a priority, mostly for the aspect of energy and being able to make more out of my day and feel better and feel more like, I guess, just more vibrant and young. I don't know how to call it, but yeah, it is something that I do want to put more emphasis on. I think a lot of things have connected for me in terms of vision, and I want to connect it to a question asked earlier, or to a type of question that is asked often about how can I make myself do this or that? How can I get myself to improve this skill? Or how can I get myself to do something that at the moment I'm not doing enough of? And it really is, in many cases, about making it a priority, making it an inherent part of your daily routine, making it a part of your vision, having a very strong why of why you want to do it. And for me, I have tons of whys. And the missing piece for me, one of the missing pieces, was actually reading them every day and really connecting with them. Because if you really go over your vision every day, it gets a little harder to slack off in a way. Now, one more thing I want to mention that is very important is environment. So your environment is very important in the sense of, if we talk about watercolor, if you have a nice little station where you can just sit and paint, you don't have to set too many things up, you're more likely to paint every day. If you have everything properly set up and ready to go, you're more likely to take action. You have less excuses on a very practical level. Now, the same can be applied to health and nutrition, I guess, because if you have a bunch of healthy foods at home and you don't have a bunch of unhealthy foods at home, you'll have a much easier time. So that's the environmental aspect of it, which is something I hope to also improve this year. So just my 2 cents on that, how to get yourself to do something that you currently don't do, because there is a reason you don't do it, and you really want to ask yourself, why am I not doing it? What do I get out of my current habits? Do I get some kind of I guess an emotional thing from doing something, or from avoiding doing something, and if you're getting something out of it, you really want to ask yourself, how can I get it from a different place? Because we do have needs, so maybe you can fill that need doing something else that's healthier, so just my 2 cents on that. Let's see what else you're writing here. Oh, a bunch of messages. Let's see. Arthur Coupman says, Plein-Air in nature is difficult this time of year with all the mud everywhere. I'm going to try a new setup. Attach all the supplies to an A4 clipboard and just hold it in my hand. Oh yeah, that's a good idea. You really have to be practical with Plein-Air. You really have to find those solutions. Use a lot of clips, bulldog clips, these ones. That's the #1 tool for painting Plein-Air. This little thing here. I did want to answer about lost and found and mud. I will address it in a future video because I've been asked close to the start of this live stream, lost and found and mud. Think about the places that aren't as important. That's where you want to do lost edges. You want to connect shapes. And if you go to one of my very first live streams, I think it was actually the second live stream, where I painted for Washtober, you will find me painting this bird of prey. I don't know if it's a hawk or an eagle. Check that one out, because I show how I do lost edges on the wings and stuff like that, and I believe you were in that live stream, but be sure to check it out if you haven't. Calvin Zero says, did you enter Jackson Art 2020 painting competition? No, I haven't. I'm not too big on painting competitions. Not that I dislike them, I just always miss them. Cubs win. Thank you, chatters who are mostly normal and ask good questions in the comments. I've been on some of that crazy some that are crazy immature. Yeah, definitely. By the way, Cubs win. You'll find that the larger live streams have more potential for that. We did have a couple of these instances, but it was when there was like double the amount of people that we have right now, like 140, I think. Gemily says Rodrigo E. Gabriel, Metallica, and Zeppelin on classical guitar. So you say I should search that? I will search that. I love Metallica on classical guitar. Oh, by the way, one of my favorite. I'm just gonna write it. Sorry, can't do two things at once, I guess. Guitar. One of my favorite works by Metallica is the Symphony in Metallica. That is just the best of both worlds. I love listening through these. One of my favorites is of Wolf and Men. It's just so much better with the Symphony. I remember I used to listen to the Symphony so much that I would feel like I can't listen to the normal version anymore, which is hilarious. Mark says, Barb, Nancy, and Jem, Happy New Year to my fellow Ohioans, and Happy New Year to everyone here. Keep painting. Yeah, that's cool. So many people from Ohio. Arthur Koopmans, I like to stay in shape by doing long cycling trips in the countryside. Great way of gathering reference material and going to Plein-Air locations for sure. And you have Patrick Lee Greaves, who does these kinds of things. He has a few videos of Plein-Air. I'll actually send you a link to his channel as well. We're into links today. That's another channel that really explains well, verbally, what he's doing. He's into oils now a lot, but I do want to share that with you, Patrick. I also interviewed him on my channel. So you can search for his name and you will find it. Kelvin Zero. Sometimes I really hate festive eve because it usually means no sleep until 2 a.m. because of all the noisy fireworks. Yeah, that's an issue too. Here, Cubs win. Do you know of Domestica or Alex Hilkerts? Yes, I do. I've seen some of the ads. I've actually known of Alex Hilkerts for a long time. And then suddenly I saw a Domestica ad with his work and I was like, cool, that's really cool. I love his work. He does like a combination of sketches and kind of urban sketching with watercolor. Very good. Fine art with without. Good video, worth watching. I'm following you from Algeria. So cool. Thank you so much. Maggie C, I think you gave your 22 pounds to me. I hope not. I hope I just shed them and that they went to no one. Jem Lee, sounds like Miracle Morning. Ian Jackson, dog food not for human consumption, for sure. Kelvin Zero, I have lost. I have lose to. Oh, okay. You have lost. You've gone down to 90 kilograms, and then 2020 happened. Now you're around 95. According to my BMI, I need to hit 70 to be normal. From 90 to 95 isn't that bad, Kelvin. So don't be too hard on yourself. You can drop that really fast. Yeah, I was, so to give you specific numbers, I was around, my record was around 81, 82, and then I dropped all the way to 73, I think. And I think now I'm around 78, probably almost 80. Maggie C, I admire your drive, thank you. Javely says, top that off. Yeah, here we go, new one. Maggie C, that drive applies to everything in life. Yeah, for sure. For sure. If you get everything working the right way, it can improve everything, really. I want to know where the drive comes from. Parents, it's a good question. I don't think so. Honestly, Marjorie, I'll tell you this. I think it's not parents. I don't think it's parents. It's either from before, like grandparents. My uncle actually has a very similar thing. But I think it actually is just self-generated. I don't know. It's interesting. I think it's a combination of like something that is inborn, but also circumstances of life, I guess. It's interesting. Maybe I'll talk about it in a future video. I need to figure a few things out, but it's an interesting question. I always think about it. I think it's things that I haven't gotten as a kid, not like from my parents, but just also from my parents, but generally from the environment, from kids, from school. I don't know. It's interesting. Thelma Blake, you are so encouraging on so many different levels. I like your approach to life in general. Best wishes for a wonderful new year to you and everyone. Thank you so much, Thelma. I really appreciate it. Ian Jackson, I have only 8 hours left to come up with art direction theme for 2021. Don't panic, don't panic. 8 hours is a lot. Pour yourself a glass of wine or just popcorn or something and figure it out. You'll figure it out, Ian. I'm sure you will. And feel free to share your deliberations. Christine Kaiser, that's a good word, deliberations. I should use it more. Christine Kaiser, you're always beyond your years, Liron, thank you. Mary C, you have a better class of YouTube comments, no doubt. Hardly anyone vulgar or trolling. Yeah, for sure. Donna Bowen, I'm so late. No worries. We have still a few things to go over, Donna. Thank you so much for joining. Deborah Marriott, my biggest hurdle is too much or too little water, and skies are my nemesis. Interesting, yeah. So I would say ask yourself in what aspect that influences your painting and work on that. So if you feel like maybe you're getting too much water, maybe you're getting a lot of cauliflowers, or maybe you don't get the result you want, you don't get the value you want, think about what's the thing that it hurts you the most at and simply practice that. So if this frustrates you because you don't get the right value, work on value matching. If it frustrates you for a different reason or you don't like it for a different reason, practice that. Let me know where it meets you, this lack or a gap in skill, and I'll be happy to maybe give some more specific advice. That is Art says, I used to run, jog, and wrecked my knees. Oh, so I had to go to physiotherapy. They said it when jogging, running a lot, to do exercises that will keep the knees strong. Very important. So it's a funny thing. I had a very similar experience. I actually dislocated one of my knees when I was younger, and that's fine. That got solved. I did a lot of physiotherapy back in the day. The thing is, I started having on my other knee, on my left knee, a bit of pain, and I did ultrasound and a bunch of checks, and it turns out to have been some sort of inflammation, as it usually is. And I started doing physiotherapy about 6 months ago almost, and I've been doing it every single day almost, like 5 days a week. I rest on weekends in that regard. I sometimes work, but I don't do physiotherapy. It's huge. Like for knee injuries and inflammations, one of the best things you can do is physiotherapy. And I actually learned something interesting, and that is there is this tendon or something like that. It goes all the way from here down to the knee, and you want to work that. So you have to do a lot of lateral stuff, like actually lateral movement. Never thought I'd show you exercising on a live stream, but you have to do a lot of lateral movement from what I watched to help that, to alleviate that kind of an inflammation and pain. So I'm definitely doing a lot of that, yeah. And I'm not doing like high impact exercises, high impact you call it. I try and do low impact mostly. I'm gonna move off camera. I hate blowing my nose on camera. Where should I move? I'll move here. Sorry about that. I have a weird way of blowing my nose, so I don't like to do it on camera. Mary C, yes, my obvious mistake is way too much water. Yeah, that's not as bad of a mistake as other mistakes, because you can always charge into it more paint. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. My worry is for people who use too little water. Noreen Kellett, Happy New Year, Liron, and everyone. It's 2:45 a.m. on New Year's Day here in Australia. Thank you so much for tuning in. That's really incredible. Thank you for all your videos, Liron. Thank you so much, Noreen. Arthur says, cool. John says, I'm using your motivational podcast videos for self-improvement and hopefully be more disciplined in my daily routine. That's amazing. That's how I hope people use these. If you can listen to something that actually encourages you, that's the best. Moni B, Liron, you're the best. Keep doing what you're doing. You make a difference. Moni B from the fabulous Florida Keys. Tina Canali, Happy New Year from Rome. Cool, Rome is so beautiful. Laura Merrifield, 2021 art plan. I wrote a list of things to improve and taped it to the wall by my desk. Now when I want to just practice, I pick something from that list. That's great. Keep it simple. Have it in front of you. Perfect. Maggie C, if it wasn't 9:50 a.m., I joined you in a glass of wine. Love the reds too. Thank you. Yeah, I definitely prefer red over white wine. Donna Bowman, I got one of your books for Christmas and I'm really enjoying it. Thank you so much, Donna. Usually November, December are the craziest months in terms of sales on Amazon. That's like the best months of the year. Ezor Megier, Equilibrio. I suggest Patricia Guzman, Mexican watercolor artist. She uses watercolor as a political message. I'll write it down. I'll check her out. Patricia Guzman. Definitely. I'm always looking for new artists to show and feature. 123 Rockfin. What is your favorite art museum? That's an interesting question. I really like the Louvre, but my favorite would actually be it's one in New York. I don't remember its name. It's based on a private collection. It used to be the estate of someone. I forget the name. Let's see. New York Museum Private Estate. What was it? I'll find it. I'll let you know. Let me know in the comments if you know what it is. Museums. It was a private collection of someone. Oh, it was the Freak, not Freak, what do you call it? The Freak, yeah, the Frick collection. That's the one. That was the one that I probably enjoyed most in terms of artwork. I'm going to write it down. You probably are familiar with it. Frick collection. It's just so cool because this was actually the house of the person, and it's his art collection. That was my favorite, definitely from New York. So yeah, that was my favorite so far. But I liked many others for sure. Deborah Marriott, Blooms in My Sky. Yeah, okay, so that's too much water and too late too. So you may have to work faster, Deborah. That may be a big part of the issue. Calvin Zero says, I entered Jackson Art 2021 painting competition as a test to see where my painting skill is at. I consider getting short-listed as pass. So I consider getting shortlisted. So did you make the cut? Did they reach out to you? Let me know. Mary C. Oh, Laura Moffield, thank you. Great idea. Of course I am. Time to go. Happy New Year, everyone. Hopefully 2021 will be a lot better. Yeah, definitely. I think it will. Daiji Shinomori, it will be 2021. 6 minutes from now. That's super cool. So you're somewhere in, I forgot. Oh, Philippines? I don't remember. Remind me where you're from, Daiji. Jam Lee, well, almost 11 a.m. here in Ohio, and my family is up and about, so I'm jumping off. All the best for a happy and healthy 2021. Thank you so much, Jem. I will see you next time. That is Art says, yep, I do at least a half hour of knee leg exercises a day. I thought jogging would be enough, but no, must keep the many more muscles strong. Sorry to hear about your muscle pain. Yeah, definitely. It's just a must, really. If you have a problem, you have to work on all the muscles around it, definitely. Ian Jackson, Eureka, I found it. My next year's theme will be doing more art techniques from other artists than persisting with my standard ways of doing things. Okay, cool. So it's going to be like a year of expansion. I get that. I used to do that a lot. I think I may do that soon again. Expanding your skills rather than improving what is already there. Yeah, I'm all for it. Let's see here. My nose is a little runny. Sorry about that. Sometimes that happens. It used to be much worse before I did my deviated septum correction surgery. Clever Pause. Happy New Year from Ireland. Marjorie Johnson. When I taught oil painting, it started as very basic, and then to a very strict method of copying style and brushwork, then to playing as an effort to find their own style. Yeah, so I also ebb and flow between these. I'll go very strict and very technique oriented, and I'll kind of change things around. So yeah, that's cool. Christine Kaiser, too little water is my problem. Yeah, that's very common, very common. Shalom Israel Avitan says hi. So that's a name. That's an Israeli name. Shalom Israel Avitan says it says I'm a king. So thank you so much for that. Shalom. Toda raba. Gemly Frick. Yeah, Frick Gallery. Calvin Zero. I envy those who get high from doing workouts, but sadly I'm not one of these people. So working out always feels like torture. However, I do like walking, so I walk a lot. So I just walk a lot. Yeah, I get it. It's really important to find a mode of exercise that works for you. For many people, it's swimming. It can be hiking and just doing long walks. It can be sports. Like I enjoyed soccer, football in the past when I was younger. It was fun. It gives it some kind of a purpose, I think. Generally loaded with Albert Durer. I don't know what it is, but I'll take a look. Sometimes I'm just curious to see what people write. Maybe I'm missing something. I'll later look at it. Dave Lowe, it's never too late to start being more healthy. Yeah, for sure. Shalom says, Makore, what's up? I'm good. How are you? Jamli says, bye. Bye, Jamli. I hope to see you in a future live. 123 Rock Fan. I visited it on my high school senior trip to New York. Loved it. Yeah, it's just such a nice collection. Marjorie Johnson, I seem to be stuck in a very restrictive and can't go beyond with watercolor, which was my objective. Any suggestion for developing own style? Marjorie, send me an email, and if you haven't, I missed it. Sorry, send me another one if you can. Send me an example. I think if you send me an example, I'll be able to better tell you like what I see as the next step for you. I just wanted to be more specific. Okay, Maggie C, gotta go. Have a wonderful, safe, prosperous, and happy New Year. See you next time. Jonathan Bowden from the land of Pokemon cards, Japan. I want to wish you a happy New Year. I'm super jealous, Jonathan. I really want to visit Japan. I've been wanting to visit it so much. And by the way, I'm going to show my collection. I'm going to show some of my cards in a future live stream, for sure. So if you want to see that, let me know. Calvin Zero, not yet. I think they'll inform people at March next year. Okay. Dimanche Dave, I'm in 2022. So you skipped a year. Interesting. Get some color. Dave, I always start reading them like, Dave, can you do an urban sketch live? I'd love to see that one, Liron. Yes, I will. Urban sketching live. Do you mean on location or just generally even from a photo? Let me know. I can do both. I'm just curious to hear. Mary C says, I love Wallace collection in London and Tate Britain. So I've been to London once. I haven't got to visit too many museums, maybe in the future. Galcheck, this has been a great live stream. You're the best. Wishing you happy, healthy, hopeful New Year. Looking forward to tuning in many, many more times. Thank you so much, Gal. Kelvin Zero says, oh, fireworks started. 123 Rockfin. Albert Durer has some fantastic sketching and etching. I will check it out for sure. So let's see what else we have on the agenda. One more thing. Yes, okay. So if you stay till that long, we're 2 hours into the live stream. I want to show you my latest manga page for my Shaolin manga. So basically, I think there are 2 pages I have not shown you yet. I'm going to show you pages 4 and 5. So I know this is very niche. Not everyone's into that, but I'm working on a comic book, on a manga. Here are 2 pages. So this is page 4. And I'm very happy with that. I think I did improve greatly from the previous pages. So the story is interesting. This is basically like the beginning. It's kind of a flashback because this is the past before the main story starts and happens. It's a background on one of the main characters that I think will be very interesting. So he's basically returning to his village, finding out that it's on fire. Drama. It starts right out with some drama and action, so that's good. I wanted it to be interesting and very punchy from the get. I like the top panel especially. I think I did a good job with that. So him running, I think that works really well. And by the way, let me tell you something cool about this panel. That the third, basically manga reads from right to left. So top panel is 1, bottom right is 2. And then we have top left and bottom left. So top left is 3. Third panel of him looking through the door. I actually did the pose myself, took a picture of it, a video of it, but my phone took a video of me peering through the door, and used that as reference. Otherwise, I wouldn't have gotten that feeling of him placing his weight forward. And I've been doing that a lot, and it is really, really helpful just to get the pose right, which is a big challenge for me. So that's page 4, very dramatic. I'm going to show you page 5. A bit of blood, but you'll forgive me. It's still very much drawn. Sorry about that. If you don't like that, look away. But basically coming back home, finding a bit of a tragedy. It's a necessary background story on the main character. I'm very happy with this page. It took a lot of effort. Let me move this a bit so you can see. If you're not that interested in that, I like, it's okay. I know most of my channel is watercolor, but let me show you the main part. Like this top part is, I spent so much time on drawing this rider figure. It's going to be it's not going to be necessarily a dark story. It's going to be like a drama kind of a thing. There will be some fighting, but not really. It's about Shaolin monks. I think I talked about it a bit. And Shaolin is not really a fight to the death, but you will see. It's going to be interesting. The reason I'm showing you this is that one of my goals for 2021 is to pick up the pace. Right now I'm at a 1 page per week. I really want to pick up that pace. Even less than that, I did 3 pages this month. As I improve, I hope it will improve as well, and I can get these done faster. Speed is really an important part of publishing this kind of content because people obviously want to read more. But this was the hardest panel I worked on so far, really, and I'm very happy with it. So all of the anatomy practice, all of the, and I can show you. Let me show you. This may be interesting for some people. I want to show you the draft for the writer, because I have a really interesting one. So here we go. See? I used a lot of references to get this one right. I found a good picture of a horse, 3D model actually. I don't know why it doesn't zoom in, focus, sorry about that. But in case you get to see the very rough draft. Found a good 3D model. Blythe M says, I can tell you like Berserk. Good luck with the project. Yes, people told me that a couple of times. It's very Berserk-esque, yeah, I know. But yeah, I think I'm getting the hang of like perspective on figures, and all of that work really paid off. The horse looks a lot like what he does in Berserk with the cross-hatching and then switch to tone. Something that's very different from my usual stuff here. I hope to build another section of audience around that, another segment, in addition to watercolor. So I'll definitely keep on with watercolor, but this is going to be another segment, another element of what I'm doing. Hopefully I can create the first 20 pages. Let me go back to the other less gory page, if you don't like that kind of a thing. Sorry about that. But here, so one of the things I want to do is get to that point of 20 pages and then publish it on my website, on Webtoons, which is a website for comics and manga, maybe on other places, and share it there, and get the story going, get people reading it, and starting to publish it on a regular basis, as fast as I can. It's going to be a challenge, for sure. Let me zoom in on the panel I talked to you about earlier, because you can see there, this isn't like flat tone. I'm actually using screen tones. I'm using Clip Studio, which is the software I use for this. So you see it's actually dots. You can see it on this panel. A lot of dots. And that's kind of the manga style. That's how it comes into play. Let me see your comments and see if we've gone through this part successfully. I know not everyone's into manga. Calvin Zero says, not yet. I think the forward read that. 2021. Can you do a live urban sketch? Okay, I jumped quite a bit. Mary C says, my favorite artist, Samuel Palmer, very modest, introvert, pastoral English artist. His son burnt most of his notebooks, sadly. Wow, Samuel Palmer. I'll check him out. Why did his son burn them? That's a shame. Blythe D. HNY, I guess, honestly, your videos definitely encouraged me to try watercolor again. You're a great teacher. Thank you so much. Calvin says, I think everyone go through these stages. At start, we just focus on technique, and then we eventually stop focusing so much on technique and develop style. Yeah, for sure. Technique, being competent, style, and then going back to technique, figuring out you're still lacking so many things, and so on and so forth. Blythe M says, I can tell you like Berserk. Thank you so much again. 123 Rockfan, is this a digital comic book? It's so I produce some of it traditionally, most of it in fact traditionally, and then I scan it and work on it digitally. So yeah, I'm gonna explain. My hope is to eventually produce it physically, like I actually sell a book, but for now, obviously for practical reasons, it's gonna be digital. I will have to consult with you on the demand for something physical, because I may produce something like that. Like I can go to a print house, print maybe 1,000 copies and sell them manually myself. Let me know if that's something you'll be interested in, but there's just more work to be done before that. Like I need to have a substantial amount of pages that will justify a book. I hope that makes sense. But yeah, it's a good question. I thought of digital, direct digital, without a second thought, just for practical reasons, but it is important for me to maybe give some thought to producing something physical. So yeah, John says, awesome manga sketches, Liron. Thank you, John. Ian Jackson says, being a dyslexia from the planet dyslexia, we don't have a new year for another 10 of your Earth years. Salute to you all. Ankles, I think painting is about decoding what the human brain does automatically. Light, color, scale, and perspective. What do you think? And do you always see, I guess, everything through the eyes of a painter? Definitely yes to the last question. I walk around and I see things, and it's crazy to always think about, how would I paint the sky? How would I paint this building, this car? I always do that. I'm thinking about color harmony. I'm thinking about a bunch of stuff whenever I look. I agree. I think, yeah, decoding what the human brain sees automatically, there is a lot to that. It's kind of giving the impression of not reality in a literal way, but kind of how we perceive it. So that way you can simplify things, you can leave things for the viewer's imagination, which I love. You know, I love that. I love non-literal representational art. So yeah, I agree. Cubsman, do you ever trace before watercolor or only draw from sketch? I definitely trace. If you tuned into the previous live session with the portraits, I traced all three of them. The reason was time constraints. I just didn't have enough time to draw them. Sometimes for client work, like commissions, I would trace because I want to give them the best result. And my value proposition, my unique value proposition is the paint. It's the watercolor much more than the drawing. Okay, the drawing is kind of a skeleton to support the painting. That's just the reality for me. So I'm perfectly fine with tracing. Now, the thing I'm less feeling a connection with is people that sell paintings that are traces digitally. So for example, if you open a reference photo in Photoshop and you just paint over it, there's a market for that. I wouldn't say it's not art or anything like that. I don't like it as much. Okay, for me personally, I don't like the style as much. It's too much like the photo for me. And on a technical level, I probably don't appreciate it as much. Like, it's fine, do whatever you want, I'm perfectly fine with that. Me personally, I don't like it as much because it's really just painting over the picture. And it's very different from tracing and then painting it on the page, in my opinion. But yeah, with that, you know, whatever you do, if there's a market for it, if people are willing to pay for it, and if you enjoy doing it, do whatever you want. Don't listen to me. That's my personal opinion. Thelma Blake, I'm sure you're aware that you're your own best model. Yeah, I should paint myself more. Probably. I want to do a proper self-portrait, like colorful, crazy. I will do one. Marjorie Johnson, Crap looked for an email address, but comments on last week's live chat are gone. Can we have it again? They shouldn't have been gone. Do you talk about chat or comments? Let me know. I'm opening it up right now to make sure that nothing is wrong with it. So you're saying the chat messages are gone or the comments? Let me check now. So I'm going to go to my channel and I'm going to open up in the videos. I'm going to open up the previous live stream. I see the chat, so it looks fine to me. I think I see the comments, so it looks good. I don't know. Let me know what you're seeing though. Sir Reginald Doc, did you study at college or have you learned from books, videos, workshops? The latter. I have not studied in college. I didn't do our equivalent of the SAT. I have no degree, nothing. I learned everything by myself. To the chagrin of my parents. Calvin Zero, talk about book. Some people recommended me to release an art book. The only problem is not sure what to include in said art book. If that's something you're interested in, here's my answer to that. Do what you love the most. For me, I plan on doing an actual physical book of my car paintings. So, because I love painting cars, go with that. Whatever you enjoy the most painting, do that. Put that inside. And it can be a mix of a bunch of subjects. Really, do whatever you enjoy. Honestly. Ian Jackson, just some UK news. The transfer window opened in 8 hours. I'm not sure what that means. Some UK news. The transfer window. What is that? I'm gonna look it up. UK transfer window. What is that? Oh, is it like sports? Sport. Oh yeah, okay, FIFA. Okay, so I'm not big into sports. Sorry about that. I have no idea what it means. Is it like transfers between teams? Let me know. I'm really bad at sports. Honestly, I know nothing. I used to know more as a kid about Israeli football, but like it barely exists. Arthur Koopman says, a tool I often use for drawing from reference is a scale divider. Oh yeah, I never used one. I could try it out. John says, I've searched on YouTube for demos on scale, size, proportions, people, Is it just about eyeballing, or is there a proper method? There is, in terms of perspective. It is about developing the eye and being able to eyeball ultimately, but there are ways of doing it, and it's kind of advanced perspective. It's something I have in the works. I will do a video on that in the future. Dimanche Dave, did you learn anatomy? How did you find it? I learned anatomy from Proco. Proco's courses. I bought his anatomy course. I'm going to write it down in the chat. Every live stream I talk about Proco. Proco Anatomy. Search him on YouTube, and you can also take his course, paid course, very cheap in my opinion for the value you get. He talks about all the muscles. It's crazy. Tons of value. I learned everything by myself from videos and tutorials. Marjorie Johnson comments from last... Yeah, I see them. I don't know. It's weird. Ginny, Happy New Year. Liron, thank you for all you do. Thank you so much, Ginny. Ian Jackson, I sometimes do a digital painting and trace basic marks from the photo and a layer for refs. Yeah, that's a great way of doing it. You trace a couple of landmarks and then you connect the dots in a way. Joanna Cansanoya. Hey, I bought a course to draw what you see and I love it, and thanks. Thank you so much for getting it. Dave says, both. Yes, please. Okay, I will. Let's see here. Yes, on the car painting book. I'll definitely do it, Cubs. It's the car challenge. I'm at car 23. I plan on picking up the pace in 2021, so I'll probably do 8 cars a month rather than 4. And I'll compile them all and create an art book. We'll see about how I go about doing that. Margie Johnson, I'm seeing nothing says it will be posted when live. Maybe my tablet? Maybe, it could be. Is it the previous live? Try closing it, opening it again, refreshing. I think it'll work. Laura Merrifield, Corel 3D program effects give you the option to find all edges in an image. I've used this to trace some complex scenes. It allows me to get outlines accurate, but still paint as I see it. Yeah, that's a great tool. There are a bunch of digital tools. I use Clip Studio to create the manga style. And that actually is a great tool for, I guess I want to take a screenshot. That's actually a great tool for getting the line art from a picture too. There are a couple of good ways of doing that. Ian says, football, got it. Noreen says, wow, comic book looks awesome, Liron. Thank you so much. John says, Liron, I checked out your weekly podcast on Liron.com, but they're no longer there, so I'm just listening to your daily podcast. It's not that they're no longer there. It's been ages since I did one, John. I just dropped the frequency significantly because I was focusing on other things. I hope to pick up the pace in 2021. Let me show you just quickly the couple of paintings I said I'll show you. I think there's just one left. So this one, I'm going to show you from above, and then we'll wrap it up. We're actually really close to wrapping this one up. So this is car, I believe, maybe this is 24 already, of my car challenge. The book is going to include all of them. I have shown many of them already in previous live streams, but let me show you just a few once again. We have this one, a bunch of them, as you can see. I changed the camera settings so now it actually focuses well, so I hope it looks better. This is one of my favorites. I love those crazy transitions from warm to cool. This is also one of my favorites, right here. This is a fairly realistic one. I showed you this on YouTube. Full tutorial, you can find it. There's another fun one I did. All of these are gonna go, this one also, all of these are gonna go to the book. I will compile them into. Okay, so this is car, I wrote them, 22. Okay, so this is 23. You see here is number 23. Very fun challenge. Again, paint what you love. That's how I approach this thing. And I love painting cars, so this is what I went for. This is a Mustang that parks really close to where I live very frequently. And yeah, I think now we can kind of wrap this live up. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate all of you. Thank you so much for being here. This has been great, and I'm happy to hear that people enjoy kind of the talking. I do need to figure out how I can do this in better time for many people because this is super late right now. I know this is super early for many people right now, and I want to get the later hours. It's going to be a little tricky with the time difference, but we'll figure it out. Maybe afternoon, maybe something like that. Let me know if this works for you. Actually, leave a comment if you can, let me know. If you can drop a like on this live stream, I would greatly appreciate it. It will help more people see it once it's over. I always keep the live streams on so you can watch them later. If you missed parts of it, if you want to go back, I'll keep them on. No reason to remove them. If there are any additional questions that you will ask me, I will address them either in a future live stream or future video. Okay, I'll try addressing them. And yeah, this is it. Thank you so much. Have a happy 2021. Set up the goals. Figure out what you want for yourself. I hope it's going to be an easier year. It's been a rough one for many people. I hope it's going to be easier for you. And yeah, I don't know. There's so many things that I want to do, and I'll keep sharing it with you. I'll keep sharing with you what I'm doing, and hopefully you can, I guess, learn from my mistakes and successes as well. Big emphasis is going to be on colors, as I mentioned, like really improving my color matching skills, just general usage of color. The manga, all of these things are very important for me. Health, hopefully improving the energy levels and all of that. Do what makes you feel good, really. And yeah, I hope the world opens up soon. It's going to be nice to be able to go places and not worry too much about being around people and all of that. And just really, I want to thank you so much for tuning in, for following. I really do appreciate it. And with that, we'll wrap it up. And I will talk to you again real soon. Take care.